Warrior Lore. Chapter 270. Everybody continued walking around in Xianming Palace. They talked and laughed until they reached the third floor. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Don't block our young prince's way. At this moment, a group of more than 10 guards walked over arrogantly and forcefully separated the crowd. A young man in his 20s walked up to the third floor, surrounded by a myriad of admirers. It's the third prince of King Taishian, said someone. Someone said. The identity of the person who had come was not simple. Lord Taishian was of noble status, and his children were all nobles. No one dared to provoke such a person. After those people went in, Lin Feng and the others followed. At that moment, there was a small auction going on the third floor. It wasn't about treasures, it was about people. Cages were placed on the platform, and many women were locked in the cages. Those women weren't human. Lin Feng saw a beautiful woman with a foxtail. She was actually a fox woman. There was also a girl who was cute and had a pair of snow-white ears. She was a rabbit woman. There were more than 20 beautiful women in the cages. These women were all trembling as they looked at the people around them in horror. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the first beastkin beauties to be shipped back from the Beastman Empire. They're all beautiful and exotic. Ladies and gentlemen, please buy one and have a taste. It'll be quite interesting. A middle-aged man standing on the stage shouted loudly, which immediately attracted the enthusiastic response of many people. Beastmen are also people. How can they be auctioned? Said Lin Feng gloomily. Even though the Beastmen and Jinwu country were at war, it was still a war between countries. Auctioning people was a blasphemy and an insult to life. Long Shiyu said, this kind of thing can be found in many places. Some high officials and nobles like to buy such high-quality beastmen women to train at home. Lin Feng waved his sleeves and turned around to leave. Everybody smiled wryly and followed him. Patriarch, don't be angry. It's not worth getting angry over something like this. Zhang Leitang persuaded. Lin Feng sighed. Brothers, please don't blame me. After pausing for a moment, Lin Feng said, we said that when the orcs invaded the true martial country, blood would flow like rivers and everyone would hate them. But now, look at the borders of the true martial country. Aren't these so-called officials and nobles also bidding for these orc women? I wonder how many beastmen's families will be destroyed. Even beastmen should be equal. How can these people trample on the dignity of life? Long Shiyu and the others didn't say anything and just listened quietly. Lin Feng replied, I misspoke. Perhaps I shouldn't have stood up for these pitiful beastmen. Wang Kuan said, we understand sect leaders' thoughts, but this kind of thing can't be stopped. In the eyes of many people, some lives are very lowly and can be trampled on as they wish. This world itself is so unfair. That's right, Lin Feng muttered. At this moment, a strong desire suddenly appeared in Lin Feng's heart. How he wanted to turn the Tianwu continent's 3,000 continents into a world of peace, where there was no war, where all lives were respected and everyone was equal. However, in the end, Lin Feng could only smile wryly. Even the ancient era's Saint Emperor couldn't achieve this. What more him? Let's go back, Lin Feng said. Everyone nodded and returned to the Azure Dragon Institute. Back at their residence, Lin Feng took out the green jade stone and said, Fire Qilin, come and take a look. What is this green jade stone? The Fire Qilin narrowed its eyes. I'm sleeping, no time. Aren't you curious? Lin Feng asked. The Fire Qilin was a little curious. It raised its head and looked at the green jade stone in Lin Feng's hand. He suddenly jumped up, his eyes widening as he cried out in shock. What's this? Judging from the Fire Qilin's reaction, this green jade stone was not simple awe. The Fire Qilin had already jumped over, saying, Quick, let me see this jade stone. Lin Feng threw the jade stone to the Fire Qilin. The Fire Qilin turned the jade stone over and over, becoming more and more shocked. It's actually this kind of thing. Lin Feng asked, What exactly is this thing? Where did you find it? Are there any other similar jade stones? The Fire Qilin asked instead of answering, I found it in a market. I looked around, and there was only one green jade stone in the store. I bought it because the devil pearl fluctuated a little. Lin Feng explained. The Fire Qilin said, It's not strange for this thing to cause a reaction from the devil pearl. What exactly is this? Lin Feng asked with an itch in his heart. Martial talisman. The fire Qilan said. Martial talisman? What's a martial talisman? Lin Feng looked at the fire Qilan in confusion. This was his first time hearing about martial talismans. Have you ever heard of the martial spirit evolution theory? The fire Qilan looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and said, I've heard that martial spirits are divided into ranks from 1 to 10. Through special treasures, one's martial spirit can evolve. If it's a rank 10 martial spirit, it usually has terrifying abilities. For example, my devouring martial spirit was a rank 10 martial spirit when I took the test. Then, I swallowed some precious treasures and my devouring martial spirit turned into 3, completing its first evolution. The fire unicorn nodded and said, Indeed, that's the evolution of your spirit. You're really lucky to have been able to swallow such a powerful medicine and complete the first evolution of your spirit. However, such treasures can only complete the first evolution of your spirit. If you take more treasures, even great Luo celestial pills, you won't be able to complete the second evolution. Lin Feng's expression changed. Didn't you say that my martial spirit could evolve into 10 devouring martial spirits at most? Now that I've only had 3 devouring martial spirits, it can't evolve anymore? I didn't say that your martial spirit can't evolve anymore. I just said that swallowing precious treasures won't allow you to evolve again. The fire Qilan said, the martial spirit has a great resistance to natural treasures. Even during the first evolution of the martial spirit, 80% of cultivators will fail to evolve after consuming natural treasures. Therefore, I said that you were very lucky to be able to complete the evolution of your martial spirit. The second time you consumed a natural treasure, there was no possibility of evolution at all. If precious treasures can't make a martial spirit evolve, how can it evolve again? Lin Feng was puzzled. The fire Qilan shook the cyan jade. The secret is here. Martial talismans can make a cultivator's martial spirit evolve again. Chapter 271. Talismans can make one's spirit evolve? Lin Feng's eyes were wide open. If that was the case, wouldn't he have obtained a heaven-defying opportunity? If his spirit evolved again, would there be a fourth one? If there was a fifth black hole, his strength would double. What kind of terrifying combat power would this increase? Don't be happy too early, said the fire Qilan. Lin Feng looked at the fire Qilan suspiciously. Said the fire Qilan, talismans can make one's spirit evolve, that's true, but the talisman you obtained can't. Why? Lin Feng's facial expression suddenly changed, and he couldn't help but ask. Because it's a damaged talisman. Only a complete talisman can make one's spirit evolve again, said the fire Qilan. A damaged talisman? Lin Feng took the talisman and examined it carefully. It was indeed damaged. 2 of its corners were missing, said the fire Qilan. There are very few talismans in the world. According to legends, there are 81 talismans in total. This should be a bluestone talisman, but it's only the first part. The other 2 parts are missing. Doesn't that mean that even if I have a part of the bluestone talisman, it's useless? The world is so big. Where can I find the other 2 parts? Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. Finding the second and third parts of the bluestone talisman was extremely difficult. In this vast world, finding 2 talismans would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. No, there are some clues left behind. Look, there are some blurry symbols on the talisman. Copy the symbols on the talisman, said Lin Feng. Said the fire Qilan. All right. Lin Feng nodded. He used the purple-scaled beast's blood to stain the bluestone talisman. Then, he took out a piece of paper and started copying the blurry talismans on the talisman. The purple-scaled beast's blood was very mysterious. It could show some blurry words and drawings. Lin Feng copied some distorted talismans, but they weren't spiritual marks. They seemed to be mysterious words, but Lin Feng had never seen them before. He frowned slightly and asked, What is the meaning of this scribbled talisman? The fire Qilan replied, This is the primordial godly script. It's the script of a godly spirit race, and it has been lost for a long time. Do you recognize the content of these words? Lin Feng asked. The fire Qilan nodded and said, The content recorded here is Fire Dragon Mountain. Where was the Fire Dragon Mountain? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of the Fire Dragon Mountain either, but I know of a place called the Fire Dragon Mountain. It's in the southeastern part of the Jinwu country, between the border of the Tianfeng country and the Jinwu country. Lin Feng said, Fire Dragon Ridge? The Fire Qilin frowned slightly. What the hell is this place? Lin Feng shrugged and said, maybe we can try our luck. The Fire Qilin scratched his head and said, if the blue stone talismans are close enough, they should be able to sense each other. That's great. If we can sense it, we might be able to gain something when we reach the Fire Dragon Mountain range, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng said. The Fire Qilin curled its lips and said, even if there is a harvest, I'm guessing we've only found the second part of the talisman. We don't know if we'll be able to find the third part of the talisman on the second part, so don't get your hopes up. In the end, there is still hope, Lin Feng said with a smile. He could not wait to rush to the Fire Dragon Ridge because it involved a lot of things. Thinking about it, if Lin Feng really collected all 3 bluestone talismans, he would be able to use the strength of the talismans to make his spirit evolve once again. When the devouring martial spirit was awakened, how terrifying would Lin Feng's combat strength be? Lin Feng couldn't wait to explore the Flaming Dragon Ridge. On the second day, Lin Feng told Long Shiyu and the others that he would be out for a while. During this time, he asked them to take care of the Dragon Gate. Then, he booked a griffin and rode it to the Flaming Dragon Ridge. Meanwhile, when Lin Feng had left, Liamo San had made some discreet inquiries about Lin Feng's whereabouts, so he had written a letter to him. Brother Wu, Lin Feng has left the Azure Dragon Institute recently. According to the news, he's heading to the Flaming Dragon Ridge. I hope Brother Wu can personally kill him. He did not sign his name on the letter. Obviously, Li Merson was very cautious. He had someone send the letter out, and then his face revealed a sinister expression. Little bastard, let's see how you'll die this time. Lin Feng naturally did not know that there was a conspiracy waiting for him. At this moment, he was lying on the griffin's soft fur, basking in the sun. He was very lazy, and this was a rare moment of leisure. The griffin's owner was a middle-aged cultivator in his 40s. His surname was Feng, and because he had a broken leg, people called him Cripple Feng. Cripple Feng said, Young master, are you going to the Flaming Dragon Ridge to see someone slay a dragon? Slay a dragon? Lin Feng sat up. The dragon was an extremely powerful creature. Now, there were even many people who regarded the dragon as a god. Even the Fire Qilin pricked up its ears to listen. Yes, rumor has it that a fire dragon appeared in the depths of the Flaming Dragon Ridge, and someone wants to slay it. This matter has been spreading like wildfire, and I don't know how many people have been attracted to the Flaming Dragon Ridge. Cripple Feng said Lin Feng. According to legends, 30,000 years ago, a fire serpent appeared in the Fire Dragon Mountain and turned into a dragon. That's how it got its name. But in reality, the Fire Dragon Mountain hasn't had a dragon for tens of thousands of years. Where did this fire dragon come from? Cripple Feng said, I don't know about this kid, but I do know that there are many people coming and going from the Flaming Dragon Town. It's said that some ancient families and even experts from the Holy Lands have come. Then, did anyone really see a fire dragon? Lin Feng continued to ask. This little one is not very clear about this, but this matter has been spreading like wildfire, so it should be true. When young master arrives at the Flaming Dragon Town, ask around carefully, and you might be able to find out if this news is true or not. Cripple Feng said. Lin Feng nodded. 5 days later, finally, they arrived at the Flaming Dragon Ridge. There were continuous volcanoes, and the temperature was extremely high. Flames could even be seen burning in the mountains. From afar, the gigantic mountain ridge looked like a gigantic dragon lying on the ground. Is that the Flaming Dragon Ridge? Lin Feng looked at the Flaming Dragon Ridge in astonishment. He could feel a boundless, majestic, and ancient chi assaulting his face. That's right, young master, that's the Flaming Dragon Ridge. We'll land outside the Flaming Dragon Town. It's only 30 miles away from the Flaming Dragon Ridge. Young master can rest there, Cripple Feng said. All right, let's land outside the Flaming Dragon Town. Lin Feng nodded. An hour later, the griffin landed outside the Flaming Dragon Town. Lin Feng jumped off the griffin and narrowed his eyes, looking in the direction of the flaming dragon town. We're finally here, Lin Feng said. Chapter 272. Inside the fire dragon town, it was very lively. This was the border between the two nations. Since the Zhenwu nation and the Windy nation had established a good relationship, there were cultivators from the two nations coming and going here. Furthermore, the Fire Dragon Town was an important frontier fortress. It was one of the important trading places between the Zhenwu nation and the Windy nation. Candied plums. Ancestral candied plums. 30 copper coins for a bowl. Old Lee's meat buns. Have a look. Try some. Free if there's not enough meat. Candied haws. Candied haws. Kid, give me some candied haws. It's definitely sweet and sour. The entire street was filled with the sound of hawking. Lin Feng asked, "What do you think about the fire dragon?" The fire Qilin replied, "There are two types of dragons. One is the Eastern Dragon Tribe, and the other is the Western Dragon Tribe." "Oh, Eastern Dragon Tribe? Western Dragon Tribe?" Lin Feng looked at the fire Qilin in astonishment. This was the first time he had heard of such a classification of dragons. The Eastern Dragon Tribe is extremely rare, and they are part of the Eastern Divine Dragon Tribe. They are extremely powerful divine beasts. Look at that python. It's a 1,000-year flower flood dragon, and after 10,000 years, it looks very similar to the Eastern Divine Dragon Tribe. Below the Divine Dragon Tribe, there are some Eastern Dragon Tribes with impure bloodlines. Because the Dragon Tribe is addicted to sex, there is a saying that the dragon has 9 sons. Eastern Dragon Tribe. Lin Feng knew that the fire unicorn was talking about dragons from the mountain and sea scriptures. They were all famous dragons from the mountain and sea scripture. However, these dragon tribes were extremely rare, and Lin Feng had never seen one before. They were as rare as the Qilin tribe. The fire Qilin continued, "There is another type of dragon tribe, the Western Dragon Tribe." Western Dragon Tribe? What kind of dragon tribe is that? Lin Feng asked in astonishment. The fire Qilin said, "Rumor has it that on the other side of the endless sea, there is an ancient continent that we call the Western Continent. The Western Dragon Clan is a kind of dragon that flew over from that ancient continent. There are many different kinds of dragons in the Western Dragon Clan. According to the classification of races, there are golden dragons, silver dragons, winged dragons, and so on. The Western Dragon Clan is different from the Eastern Dragon Clan. The Eastern Dragon Clan is incomparably handsome, while the Western Dragon Clan is bloated, like a giant lizard with wings." Pfft, giant lizard with wings? Lin Feng immediately burst out laughing. Isn't this shape too strange? Lin Feng had the impression that dragons were noble and dignified, but that didn't seem to be the case. On the contrary, it was rather comical. The fire Qilin said, "Don't underestimate the Western Dragon Clan just because they look like Western Dragon Clan. Some of the Western Dragon Clan's powerful bloodlines are not inferior to the Eastern Dragon Clan." Lin Feng, the fire Qilin, rolled its eyes and said, "Of course, dragons are powerful existences." Lin Feng said, "There are so many people coming and going in the Fire Dragon Town. I wonder what kind of dragon clan they are. Eastern Dragon Tribe? Or Western Dragon Tribe? I've never heard of a Fire Dragon Tribe in the Eastern Dragon Tribe. That's because the Eastern Dragon Tribe is a water-type dragon tribe. Look, in the legends, the Dragon King can summon clouds and summon rain for a reason. 2 years ago, the giant Flood Dragon Tribe was also able to summon clouds and summon rain. However, the Western Dragon Tribe has all kinds of strange abilities, including lightning, wind, fire, and other attributes. If there really is a dragon tribe this time, I'm guessing that it's a Western Fire Dragon." The fire Qilin said. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. "That's possible." He walked towards the town, planning to find an inn to stay in before looking for the second bluestone talisman. When he passed by an intersection, he saw a group of people gathered together. He didn't know what was going on, but it looked quite lively. Lin Feng squeezed into the crowd to watch. "Everyone, this is a snake girl. She's 14 years old this year and definitely hasn't been cultivated yet. Once a snake girl grows up, she'll be enchanting and charming. 2 more years and she'll be a delicate beauty. Of course, if you want to buy her, you can cultivate her now. She's tender and tender, so her taste will naturally be different. A big man laughed loudly. He seemed to be a mercenary, and there were a few people around him. Behind the big man, a young girl was curled up and trembling. The young girl's clothes were ragged, but her skin was fair and delicate. She lowered her head and didn't dare to look at anyone. She was obviously in extreme fear. Snake girl? Lin Feng was surprised. Could it be a beast? But it seemed that there was no such thing as a snake tribe among the beasts. The fire Qilin whispered, snake girls are born from a demonic snake and a human woman. They're usually seductive. At that moment, someone said, Lu Chong, what's this snake girl's background? Could she be a descendant of a terrifying demonic snake from deep in the mountains? If we buy her, wouldn't we be courting death? The cultivator called Lu Chong said, we found this snake girl in a village. The villagers saw her as an evil creature and cursed her every day. We asked around and found out that she was born from a woman in the village, but that woman died of an illness 2 years ago. We're saving her from her misery. Now, we're selling her to you so that she can live a good life in the future. We're doing good deeds and accumulating good karma. Bullshit. You're just trying to make a fortune. Many people thought disdainfully. Someone said, then make this girl raise her head and let us see if she's a snake girl. Raise your head. Lu Chong kicked the snake girl. The snake girl trembled even more violently. Fuck. You dare not listen to me? Lu Chong's face sank. He grabbed the snake girl's hair and pulled it back. The snake girl's face appeared in front of everyone. Seeing that face, many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Although this snake girl was only 14 years old, her face was exquisite and beautiful. It was like a masterpiece from the heavens. She was so perfect that there wasn't the slightest flaw. She looked no different from a human, but her eyes were different. A human's eyes were black and white, but the snake girl's eyes were dark green. She really is a snake girl, many people exclaimed. The snake girl trembled violently. Her eyes were filled with innocence as she looked helplessly at everyone. Seeing the snake girl's frightened and helpless eyes, Lin Feng was slightly touched. Lu Chong loosened his grip on the lamia. The lamia's body curled up into a ball as she trembled in fear. Haha, not bad. This snake girl is very beautiful. You're called Lu Chong, right? Are you sure this snake girl is still a virgin? At that moment, a group of people squeezed through the crowd. The leader was a young man in his 20s. Young master, we've already checked with the old woman in Fiery Dragon Town. She's definitely a virgin, said Lu Chong with a mischievous smile. Haha, this young master likes exotic beauties, and I like young girls who haven't grown up yet. It's more fun to play with them. This young master will buy this lamia. Let's see how she tastes tonight. The young man burst into laughter. Come, raise your head and let me see. The snake girl trembled. Imph. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. You're going to become my woman tonight, and you dare disobey me? The young man smiled coldly and stretched out his hand to grab the snake girl. He wanted to forcibly raise her face to admire her beauty, but his eyes were filled with lust. Crack! A hand reached out and grabbed the young man's wrist. Following that, a faint laughter rang out. I've also taken a liking to this snake girl. Chapter 273. Brat, who are you? How dare you grab this young master? Are you tired of living? The young master struggled twice, but failed to break free. His expression was ugly to the extreme. Let go of our young master. Several guards shouted coldly, but since their young master was in the young man's hands, they did not dare to act rashly. Lin Feng chuckled. We're all trying to buy this lamia, not because we're angry. Lin Feng released the young master. The several guards behind the young master wanted to make a move, but the young master was also a shrewd person. Sensing that Lin Feng was not simple, he waved his hand, signaling them not to make a move. This one is Heavenly Wind Nation Song family's third young master, Song Xian. How should I address you? Song Xian said indifferently. So, he's a descendant of Heavenly Wind Nation's Duke Cheng, someone said in a low voice. Obviously, he had heard of the Song family of the Windy Nation. The Song family's ancestor had followed the Heavenly Wind Nation's founder and conquered a large part of Heavenly Wind Nation. He was conferred the title of Duke Cheng, a hereditary first-grade Grand Duke. In Heavenly Wind Nation, the Song family was definitely a prominent family. Azure Dragon Institute, Lin Feng. Lin Feng replied. Azure Dragon Institute? Someone from true martial country? But I don't think there's a big family with the surname Lin in true martial country, right? He's probably a disciple from a small family. Some people were discussing among themselves. Song Xian had thought that Lin Feng was also a disciple of a big family, so he had a higher opinion of him. But now, it seemed that he was only from a small family, so he did not put him in his eyes. The way he looked at Lin Feng was filled with arrogance. What? You want to buy it too? You want to compete with this young master? Song Xian's tone was sarcastic, full of mockery. Lin Feng was not angered by Song Xian's disdain. He said indifferently, That's right, I want to buy it too. Let's go to the highest bidder. The Fire Qilin shook its head, as if blaming Lin Feng for meddling in other people's business. But it soon nodded as if it was gratified by Lin Feng's action. Lin Feng didn't want to interfere in this matter, but seeing how pitiful the Lamia, this young master, Song Xian, after buying her, Lin Feng couldn't stand it. This Lamia was only a 14-year-old girl, not yet an adult Song Xian, yet she was already, of. Therefore, Lin Feng attacked. Song Xian spat coldly. 50,000 gold coins. Song Chang said, Of. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. This price was too high. 50,000 gold coins was equivalent to 50 million taels of silver. Many people looked at Lu Chang and the others with envy, wondering why they weren't lucky enough to meet a Lamia. It's only 50,000 gold coins. I'll give you 100,000 gold coins, and this Lamia is mine. Song Xian wanted to show off how rich he was, so he directly doubled the price of the Lamia. As expected of Duke Cheng's descendant, the son of an aristocratic family is indeed the son of an aristocratic family. Of course, don't you know what kind of place Duke Cheng's manor is? It's so rich that it can rival an entire country. As a direct descendant of Duke Cheng, young Master Song naturally doesn't lack money. Many people were discussing this matter, said Song Xian when he heard everybody's comments. He looked at Lin Feng in a disdainful way. Hee, Brother Lin, are you able to offer a higher price? Song Xian asked with a fake smile. Lin Feng said, I can't be bothered to compete with you. I'll take this Lamia for 1,000,000 gold coins. What? 1,000,000 gold coins? Many people's mouths twitched, and their eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. Lu Chang cried out in surprise. He hurriedly bowed and said, Young master, this Lamia is yours. Yours. Lin Feng took out 2 crystal cards and said, Toss them over to Lu Chang. Lu Chang checked the cards and said, Young master, here are 2,000,000 gold coins. 2,000,000. Song Xian's mouth twitched violently. He only had 500,000 gold coins on him. Yet, Lin Feng had just casually thrown out 2,000,000 gold coins. This made Lu Chang feel endless humiliation. His arrogant attitude, tone, and questioning had all been a slap to his own face. When he looked at Lin Feng, he couldn't help but feel jealous and evil. Lin Feng ignored Lu Chang and squatted down. He gently patted the Lamia with his left hand and grabbed her small hand with his right. He looked at the Lamia, who was curled up and trembling, and said, It's fine now. Trust me, I won't bully you. The Lamia raised her head and looked at Lin Feng. She saw a clean and sunny smile. The Lamia's terrified and helpless heart seemed to have found some support in that moment. She couldn't help but grab Lin Feng's hand tightly. Get up and come with me, Lin Feng said. The Lamia nodded timidly. She hid behind Lin Feng, her body still trembling slightly. Even now, she was still very afraid of this world. Slap your own face until I'm satisfied. As long as I'm satisfied, the other 1,000,000 gold coins will be yours, Lin Feng said indifferently. Many people's mouths twitched violently again. 1,000,000 gold coins was casually thrown out for these people to slap their own faces? Damn, that was 1,000,000 gold coins. A mountain of 1,000,000 gold coins. Just to see the other party slap their own faces, wasn't this too willful? Many people wanted to kneel in front of Lin Feng and say, Give me 1,000,000 gold coins, and I'll slap my own face however you want. I'll slap. Lu Chang nodded and bowed, but he was just slapping his own face. Slap, 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 slap. Lu Chang began to slap his own face fiercely. And you guys? Lin Feng looked coldly at the people around Lu Chang. We'll slap too. Young master, look, we'll slap now. The other few people nodded and bowed, slapping their own faces one after another. See, these people are nothing to be afraid of. Lin Feng looked at the lamia. The lamia nodded timidly. She looked at Lu Chang and the others who were slapping their own faces. Originally, these people looked fierce to the girl, but in front of the young master, these people were like dogs. The lamia couldn't help but have an unprecedented feeling of worship for Lin Feng, but even the lamia herself didn't know what that feeling was. She couldn't help but tighten her grip on Lin Feng's hand. Chapter 274. In the inn, the lamia had cleaned herself up and changed into clean clothes. She stood in front of Lin Feng, looking as beautiful as a fairy. However, she was very shy. She lowered her head, not daring to look at Lin Feng. What's your name? Asked Lin Feng. Z Yuan, said the lamia in a weak voice. Do you have any relatives? Where are they? Asked Lin Feng. Z Yuan was very smart. When she heard Lin Feng's question, she quickly knelt on the ground and said, Prince, please don't drive me away. I'm willing to stay by your side and serve you. Said Lin Feng. Get up. I didn't say I wanted to drive you away. Z Yuan didn't get up. She sobbed and said, Prince, you asked if I had any relatives. Didn't you want to give me away? Said Lin Feng. No, you're thinking too much. I just wanted to show you some concern. If you don't want to say anything, then don't say anything. Just stay by my side in the future. Thank you, Prince. Z Yuan stopped crying and smiled. After Z Yuan left, the fire Qilin said, She's quite clever, but I don't know if keeping her by my side is a blessing or a curse. After all, she's the child of a powerful beast and a human woman. Said Lin Feng. So many years have passed. Why do you need to worry about such things? She's so pitiful. If I don't care about her, she'll have a tragic end. Since I bought her, I'll keep her by my side. The fire Qilin nodded and stopped talking about Z Yuan with Lin Feng. He said, What do you plan to do next? When I was sitting on the griffin, I looked down from the sky and discovered that the Fire Dragon mountain range was over 100 miles long. It was surrounded by mountains and dangerous areas. In the depths of the mountains, there were definitely many powerful, ferocious beasts. It would not be easy to find a second talisman in a place like this, said Lin Feng. Of course it won't be easy to find a second talisman in the mountains. Luckily, you have the first talisman. If you get close to the second talisman, I'm sure the two talismans will sense each other, said the fire Qilin. I hope so. Lin Feng nodded. The next day, the sunlight penetrated through the window into the room. The warm sunlight sprinkled on his body. Lin Feng couldn't help but open his eyes. He stretched comfortably. It had been a long time since he had slept so comfortably. Creak. The door opened and Z Yuan walked in with a basin of water. She said, Young master, the water is ready. Would you like to wash up? All right. Lin Feng got up and finished washing himself with Z Yuan's help. Breakfast is here. Do you want to eat now? Z Yuan asked. You go out first. I'll come out later. Lin Feng said. Yes. Z Yuan answered and walked out. This Z Yuan was rather obedient. After breakfast, Lin Feng and the fire Qilin went out together. Lin Feng first went to a bookstore to buy a map of the Flaming Dragon Ridge. At this time, a few cultivators also entered the bookstore. They heard these cultivators talking as they walked. It said that a fire dragon really did appear in the depths of the Flaming Dragon Ridge. Someone seems to have seen a huge creature surrounded by flames. It must be a fire dragon. Some people from ancient organizations have appeared. They've already gone to investigate. It's said that experts from several holy lands have come. They want to slay the dragon and take its heart. The heart of a fire dragon is the main ingredient for refining the immortality pill. An immortality pill can extend one's lifespan by 5,000 years. It's just that the heart of a fire dragon is hard to find. It's no wonder that experts from ancient holy lands have appeared. The group stopped talking about the map and said, "Boss, give each of us a map of the Flaming Dragon Ridge. The more detailed, the better." "All right, please wait a moment, sirs," the shop owner said with a smile. Due to the high number of cultivators visiting the shop, business had improved as well. Naturally, he was all smiles. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin returned to the tavern. He studied the terrain of the Flaming Dragon Ridge. There were continuous mountains, and the terrain was dangerous. There were also many volcanoes scattered around. The rocks in some places were brittle, and if one wasn't careful, they might fall into an underground world of lava. Lin Feng said, "Tomorrow, I plan to enter the Flaming Dragon Ridge and search for the Bluestone Talisman." "All right, go ahead." "I won't go with you," the Fire Qilin said. All right, just wait here," said Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded. The next day, Lin Feng told Ziyuan that he would enter the Flaming Dragon Ridge to do some business. He asked Ziyuan to stay in the tavern and also asked the Fire Qilin to take care of Ziyuan. He didn't know if the Fire Qilin was reliable. Lin Feng then headed towards the Flaming Dragon Ridge. Actually, many people had entered the Flaming Dragon Ridge along the way. They were probably there to watch the experts from the ancient Holy Land slay dragons. This kind of thing was hard to come by in 10,000 years. Naturally, it would arouse the interest of many people. Lin Feng was also very interested. If he wasn't looking for the second Bluestone Talisman, Lin Feng would probably have gone to watch the experts from the ancient Holy Land slay dragons. However, Lin Feng had more important things to do now. Lin Feng entered the Flaming Dragon Ridge. He didn't have a good idea now. He could only walk around the Flaming Dragon Ridge and see if the first Bluestone Talisman had any reaction. Lin Feng was resting in front of a small stream when a dozen figures rushed over from afar. "Young master, there's a small stream ahead. Let's rest there," one of the guards said. "All right." The young master who was being protected by the guards nodded. One of the guards went to the stream to fetch some cool water for the young master to drink. The group soon arrived at the stream. When the young master saw Lin Feng, he was surprised. "It's you." The young master who was being escorted by a group of guards was none other than Song Xian, the descendant of Duke Cheng, who had competed with Lin Feng for Ziyuan. Lin Feng nodded and said, "So it's Brother Song." It seems that Brother Song wants to enter the Flaming Dragon Ridge to watch the ancient Holy Land slay dragons. Song Xian sneered and said, "Aren't you afraid of me? Why should I be afraid of you?" Lin Feng shrugged. "You dare to compete with me for a woman? You actually aren't afraid of me after meeting me in the wilderness. You have some guts." Song Xian's expression was indifferent. "It's a fair competition. Could it be that Brother Song is jealous of me?" Lin Feng said indifferently. "No one has ever been able to snatch something from me," Song Xian said coldly. Song Xian said coldly as a cold glint flashed across his eyes. Lin Feng frowned. It seemed that Song Xian wasn't going to let the matter rest. Lin Feng naturally wasn't afraid of Song Xian. He just didn't want to cause trouble. However, if trouble came, he wouldn't care. "Brother Song, what do you mean?" Lin Feng asked coldly. Chapter 275. Ha 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 ha. Song Xian suddenly burst into laughter. He glared coldly at Lin Feng and sneered. "What a fool. Even now, you still don't know what I'm going to do? If you know what's good for you, hand over all your treasures and crystal cards, and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, this will be your burial ground." Song Xian was confident that he could defeat Lin Feng just because he had the advantage in numbers. What kind of person was Lin Feng? Even though Lin Feng wasn't the kind of person to cause trouble, he was still a person of great importance. If anyone dared to provoke him, they would definitely meet a tragic end. Just your threats are enough for you to die 10 times over. However, on account of the heavens' benevolence, if you kneel down and apologize, I'll spare you. Lin Feng pointed at Song Xian as he spoke. What is that brat saying? He wants young master to kneel down? The guards beside Song Xian were dumbfounded. None of them had expected Lin Feng to say such words to Song Xian. This brat was alone. On the other hand, they had more than a dozen people on their side. These guards had followed Song Xian for a long time, and they understood his personality. At this moment, they were all staring at Lin Feng as though they were looking at a dead man. This brat is dead for sure, and he will die a miserable death. Song Xian's face immediately darkened. Someone actually dared to ask him to kneel down? That brat was courting death. Song Xian stared coldly at Lin Feng and sneered. Brat, you're really courting death. Since you're courting death, I don't mind ending your life right here and now. Kneel down, and I'll spare your life. I won't give you a third chance, said Lin Feng coldly. He looked indifferent. Song Xian's face contorted in anger. Brat, you're courting death, aren't you? I won't kill you right away. I'll torture you so much that you'll wish you were dead. You'll kneel before me like a dog and beg for mercy. Song Xian sneered. Lin Feng looked at Song Xian coldly. This brat no longer had a chance. What are you waiting for? Do it. Song Xian bellowed coldly. Yes, sir. Immediately, more than a dozen guards rushed toward Lin Feng, all of them wearing hideous smiles. Brat, how dare you offend our young master? You must be tired of living. The guard who took the lead had a sinister look on his face. He threw a punch at Lin Feng. This guard was quite powerful. He was at the 10th celestial layer of the martial master realm and could definitely be considered an expert. However, his opponent was an expert like Lin Feng. Lin Feng sneered and threw a punch. Bang! Suddenly, the two sides fiercely collided with each other, followed by a cracking sound. The rest of the guards saw that the arm of the first guard who attacked Lin Feng was directly broken. Then, Lin Feng's fist ruthlessly smashed into the guard's chest. Gotcha! The guard's chest directly caved in. His sternum was broken by Lin Feng's punch. His body flew out like a kite with a broken string and fell to the ground. He was already dead. He was killed by Lin Feng with a single punch. This brat is savage. Let's attack together. Seeing the first guard killed by Lin Feng with a single punch, the rest of the guards' faces changed. Someone shouted loudly, and more than a dozen people rushed forward. However, Lin Feng's speed was too fast. He disappeared like an afterimage. He rushed into the crowd and threw out punch after punch. Bang, bang, bang. Muffled sounds of collisions rang out one after another. One after another, the guards were sent flying by Lin Feng. Horrible shrieks were unceasingly spreading in the air. Lin Feng had killed them in one strike. He killed a guard with a single punch. Those guards were extremely strong, but in front of Lin Feng, there was a huge difference between them and Lin Feng. In the blink of an eye, 7 or 8 guards died. The remaining 6 or 7 were so scared that their faces turned pale, not daring to go forward. Young master, leave quickly. A few guards shouted with pale faces. At this moment, how could they dare to continue fighting with Lin Feng? As for the haughty Song Xian, he had long been scared half to death. Song Xian was originally a second-generation young master. Although he was also a 7th-layer martial master, in front of Lin Feng, he was too weak. Song Xian saw that his 10th-layer martial master guards were killed by Lin Feng with a single punch, let alone him. At this moment, how could he dare to stay? He turned around and ran. Lin Feng sneered, if I want to kill someone, they definitely won't be able to escape. He jumped 40 to 50 meters. His speed was too fast. In an instant, he was in front of Song Xian. Kill him. Hurry up and kill him. Song Xian shouted in fear. Buzz. The guards immediately used their flying swords. Song Xian was indeed worthy of being a young master of a large aristocratic family. He actually had treasures like flying swords. Flying swords. Killing through the air. 5 flying swords quickly flew towards Lin Feng. They were extremely fast. In such a short distance, even Lin Feng didn't have time to dodge. The 5 flying swords were already flying towards him. Haha, brat, let's see how you'll die. Seeing the 5 flying swords about to kill Lin Feng, Song Xian shouted excitedly. It was as if he could see Lin Feng being dismembered by the flying swords. Clang, 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 clang. However, when the 5 flying swords landed on Lin Feng's body, the sound of metal clashing could be heard. The 5 flying swords were unable to break through Lin Feng's defense. Lin Feng's physical body had already reached the level of an yin-yang realm expert. Ordinary flying swords wouldn't be able to break through Lin Feng's defense. Only flying swords at the spirit level could kill Lin Feng. How is this possible? Song Xian and the others roared in disbelief. Those were flying swords, while Lin Feng was just a body of flesh and blood. Flying swords. They couldn't break through his body of flesh and blood. Seeing this, Song Xian and the others were almost scared to death. Lin Feng stretched out his right hand and suddenly grabbed the 5 flying swords. Lin Feng grabbed them. Then, with a slight shake of his wrist, the 5 flying swords flew out. Puff, puff, puff. The sound of tearing flesh could be heard. The 5 flying swords pierced through the chests of the 5 cultivators. The 5 cultivators fell to the ground, completely dead. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I can give you endless wealth and countless beauties. Please don't kill me. Song Xian fell to his knees with a thump. His face was as pale as a sheet. His entire body was trembling. I told you to kneel and beg for your life, but you didn't cherish it. It's too late to beg for mercy now. Lin Feng sneered. He stepped forward and slapped at Song Xian. The slap landed on Song Xian's head. Gotcha! Song Xian's neck broke. Song Xian fell to the ground, twitched a few times, and died. Lin Feng took the storage rings of these people, burned their corpses with heavenly fire, and quickly left this place. However, Lin Feng didn't see that in the forest, 2 pairs of sinister eyes were watching everything that was happening. Chapter 276. Is it that brat? One of the 2 cultivators hiding in the dark, a cultivator with a scar on his face, said the other one, while taking out a scroll. On the scroll was Lin Feng's face. That's right, it's him. He's the one who killed the young commander, said the other cultivator fiercely. Go back and report to the commander that we've found Lin Feng. I'll follow that brat. Don't let him get away, said the scar-faced man. Be careful, said the other cultivator. Don't worry. The scar-faced man nodded. The other cultivator quickly left while the scar-faced man followed Lin Feng silently. The scar-faced man was quite good at following people. Lin Feng didn't notice him at all. Lin Feng found another place to rest. He was a decisive person. Since Song Xian and the others wanted to die, they couldn't blame him for being ruthless. Lin Feng sat down cross-legged and took out their spatial rings. He checked them carefully. There were a total of 7 flying swords that were magic tools. They were worth a lot and were worth hundreds of thousands of gold coins. Lin Feng put them away. When night fell, the sound of wolves howling could be heard in the forest. On a mountain peak not far away, a pack of wolves howled at the moon. It's the great forest wolves. Lin Feng saw the huge pack of wolves in the distance. The great forest wolves were extremely powerful. An adult great forest wolf could grow up to 10 meters tall. The Wolf King's strength could even reach the level of a human martial king. If they obtained a fortuitous encounter, they could transform into a demon. They would be able to transform into monsters and know how to transform. At that time, they would be equivalent to human yin-yang cultivators. After the pack of wolves howled at the moon, they jumped down from the mountain and started hunting at night. Many fierce beasts in the forest fled in all directions. No matter where they are, wolves are a race that countless creatures avoid. Lin Feng quickly jumped onto a tree. If he was discovered by the wolves, he would be in trouble. Rustle. Suddenly, Lin Feng's ears twitched. He heard the sound of something moving quickly. He couldn't help but look into the distance. There was only darkness, and he couldn't see anything. Moreover, the soft sound quickly disappeared. Not long after, a pack of wolves appeared. Their roars shook the heavens as they charged into the distance. Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, they managed to avoid the pack of wolves. The next morning, the forest was in a mess. Lin Feng saw the bones of many fierce beasts. They should be the fierce beasts that were killed by the wolf pack. The meat was eaten, leaving only the bones. After passing through a valley, Lin Feng increased his speed and disappeared into the valley. Scarface rushed into the valley, but Lin Feng had already disappeared without a trace. Damn it, I lost him. Scarface's expression was extremely gloomy. However, at this moment, a cold voice came from outside the forest. Who are you? Why are you following me? Scarface was startled. He turned around and saw Lin Feng walking in from outside the valley. He knew that he had been tricked by Lin Feng. Scarface was someone who had seen a lot. He said, "Little brother, you must be joking. In this vast forest, it's normal for you to take a path. Little brother, why do you think I'm following you? It was you last night, right? Said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. I didn't notice you at first. I have to admit that you're quite good at hiding. But yesterday, when the wolves appeared, the beasts fled. You quickly found a place to hide. Even though your movements were subtle, I still noticed you. At first, I thought you were a ferocious beast, but then I realized something was wrong. Ferocious beasts don't just hide after one attack. At that moment, I knew someone was watching you. Scarface said, I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't speak, you'll die. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Scarface sneered, Little brat, you're quite alert. However, it's still not certain who will win. Lin Feng sneered, What? You're not going to hide anymore? You're just a piece of trash from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. How do you know I'm from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group? Scarface's expression changed abruptly. Aura. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes at Scarface. I can sense the Heavenly Wolf's aura on your body. Aren't these bloodthirsty wolves raised by the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group? Lin Feng's mouth twitched. Little brat, your perception is quite strong. No wonder even the young captain wasn't your match. I wanted to wait for the captain to arrive so that we could surround and kill you. That way, I would have a 90% chance of killing you. But now that you've recognized me, I'll be the one to kill you. It's the same. Scarface sneered. You think you can kill me? Against someone like you, I can easily crush you with one hand. Said Lin Feng disdainfully. You're about to die, and you still dare to talk big. Today, I'll show you how strong I am. Scarface jumped up and with a swoosh, he drilled into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Earth evasion technique. Lin Feng was astonished. Wu Ming of the Dragon's Gate also had an earth evasion technique. Lin Feng had seen Wu Ming use it before. That earth evasion technique was very mysterious. When one drilled into the ground, they would be unobstructed. It was the best way to escape and launch sneak attacks. No, it must be a spirit. I just sensed that his spirit was violently fluctuating. That kind of earth evasion technique must have been activated by his spirit. It's not a secret technique. This spirit is really strange. There's even a spirit that can use earth evasion technique. Lin Feng quickly sensed that something was wrong. He was slightly surprised. Swoosh. Suddenly, a cold light appeared behind him. Scarface came out of the ground. He appeared behind Lin Feng with a sharp dagger in his hand. He wanted to stab Lin Feng in the chest. Bzzz. Scarface's blade was about to pierce through Lin Feng's chest, but suddenly, an empty space magnetic field appeared and sealed Scarface's movements. Why can't I move? Scarface was smiling ferociously. He was terrified. The unknown was the scariest thing. Lin Feng turned around and looked at Scarface indifferently. He said, That's my spirit. Spare my life. Spare my life. I'm willing to serve you for the rest of my life. Please spare my life. Scarface begged. He didn't want to die. If he had known that Lin Feng was so terrifying, he wouldn't have fought with him. He would have used earth evasion technique to escape. But there were no ifs in the world. You don't deserve to be my servant, said Lin Feng with a cold smile. He stretched out his right hand and grabbed Scarface's dagger. Slash. The dagger cut through Scarface's neck. Blood gushed out. Scarface fell to the ground and twitched a few times before he died. Chapter 277. Roar. In the forest, the roars of beasts shook the sky. Lin Feng stood on top of a mountain peak and looked into the distance. He saw a dense pack of beasts rushing out from the depths of the forest. Large areas of the forest were completely destroyed. Oh! In the distance, a 20-meter-tall giant wolf king let out a long howl. Thousands of mountain wolves surrounded dozens of cultivators and crazily attacked those cultivators. Cultivators were constantly drowned by the mountain wolves. In another direction, hundreds of saber-toothed tigers appeared together and pounced on the fleeing cultivators. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the forest, figures as fast as lightning appeared one after another. They were shadow leopards, one of the most terrifying killers in the forest. They were extremely fast and were good at hiding and assassinating. Dozens of shadow leopards were pouncing towards the cultivators who were fleeing. In the sky, huge beasts swooped down and killed the beasts in the forest. Run! Run quickly! Many cultivators screamed in horror. But soon, they were drowned by the beasts. Too many people died. The beasts in the flaming dragon ridge are rioting. Could it be? Lin Feng took a deep breath. He looked into the depths of the flaming dragon ridge. There should be a fire dragon there. It could only be a dragon. Only a dragon could command all the beasts in the flaming dragon ridge to riot. It seems that the fire dragon has started to counterattack and cause the beasts to riot. The flaming dragon ridge is extremely dangerous. I have to leave for now, or my life will be in danger. Lin Feng used his golden wings and flew out of the flaming dragon ridge. But soon, Lin Feng was attacked fiercely. In the sky, a dense pack of beasts pounced. There was a sky-splitting eagle. There was a golden feathered eagle. There was a vampire bat. There was a flaming winged beast and other flying beasts. They launched a fierce attack on Lin Feng. F***CK. Lin Feng really wanted to curse. How could Lin Feng dare to fight against an army of flying beasts alone? He would be torn to pieces by this army of flying beasts. He quickly fled forward. Boom, boom, boom. However, at this moment, a dense amount of thunderbolts blasted towards Lin Feng from the sky. Hundreds of flying beasts surrounded by lightning appeared. They were heavenly thunderbirds, about 3 meters long. Although they were not particularly large, heavenly thunderbirds were definitely one of the most terrifying birds. This was because heavenly thunderbirds controlled the power of thunder and could release extremely powerful thunder attacks. The thunder attacks released by hundreds of heavenly thunderbirds gathered together could instantly kill a martial general realm expert. Martial king realm experts would be seriously injured even if they did not die. Yin-Yang realm experts would also have to try their best to avoid them. Bang! The dense lightning struck Lin Feng, directly knocking him down. Even though his body was comparable to a Yin-Yang realm expert's, it still tore apart his flesh and made him spit out a mouthful of blood. Lin Feng crawled up from the ground and cursed in a low voice. How monstrous! He had almost lost his life. At the moment when he was about to leave, the 3 gigantic wolves of the forest roared and threw themselves at Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his fist and started fighting against the 3 gigantic wolves of the forest. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Feng punched the 3 gigantic wolves 3 times in a row and sent them flying. However, at this moment, a pitch-black figure quickly rushed over. It was too fast. Like a bolt of lightning, it instantly lurked behind Lin Feng and grabbed towards Lin Feng's neck. Lin Feng was shocked. This speed was too fast. Fortunately, he reacted in time and quickly dodged to the side. Puff! The black figure scratched Lin Feng's neck and left a bloody mark. Lin Feng was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. This was too terrifying. He was almost killed by this beast. At this moment, Lin Feng clearly saw the beast's appearance. It was a pitch-black leopard. It's a shadow leopard. Lin Feng was shocked. There were records of shadow leopards in the classic of mountains and seas. They were killers in the mountains. The shadow leopard's attack missed, and it continued to pounce towards Lin Feng. Confine. Lin Feng released his martial spirit to confine the shadow leopard. Then, he directly grabbed the shadow leopard's legs and shouted, "Puff!" The shadow leopard was directly torn in half by Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't dare to stay and quickly rushed out. One day later, Lin Feng finally left the range of the Fire Dragon Ridge. Many cultivators escaped in an incomparably sorry state. Many cultivators died tragically in the Fire Dragon Ridge. Fire Dragon? Someone saw a fire dragon. The people of the ancient sacred land wanted to kill it, but the fire dragon attacked first. It summoned the powerful beasts in the Fire Dragon Ridge and started a riot. It's terrible. I saw dozens of cultivators die in a flash. What's that? Many people from the ancient sacred land died. Ah, is that so? Some young cultivators of the ancient sacred land followed the elders of the ancient sacred land to the Fire Dragon Ridge to watch the elders kill the Fire Dragon Ridge. But the beasts started a riot, and the elders couldn't protect everyone. Many people died tragically. The ancient sacred land won't give up. They'll definitely send strong cultivators to clean up the fire dragon ridge. Let's wait. People from the ancient Holy Land want to kill dragons. We're not fated to obtain the fire dragon, but the other ferocious beasts have already been killed. Without the protection of the ferocious beasts, we'll be able to collect the herbs in the forest, said Lin Feng. Indeed, there are many corpses of the beasts. They're priceless. We'll be able to collect them later. Many people were discussing the beast riot. Lin Feng returned to the fire dragon town. Master, you're back. Ah, you're injured. When Ziyuan saw the wound on Lin Feng's neck, she almost burst into tears. Don't worry, it'll be fine soon. Lin Feng said. Let me bandage it for you. Ziyuan said. All right. Lin Feng nodded. Ziyuan bandaged Lin Feng's wound and left. The fire Qilin said, It seems like there really is a dragon. If I can devour its origin, I'll be able to recover at least 30% of my divine power. Lin Feng said, If the fire dragon can cause a riot, it must be extremely powerful. It's good enough that you didn't get devoured by it, but you want to devour its origin? The fire Qilin lay on the table and cursed, Damn it! It's all because of that damned demon orb. If it wasn't for it, I wouldn't have ended up like this. I'm really unlucky. What's the point of saying all this? You should be thanking the heavens for saving your life back then. Lin Feng pursed his lips. One day later, the people from the ancient sacred lands came out. There were a total of 3 ancient sacred lands, Tianqi, Ziguang, and Panglai. These 3 ancient sacred lands were extremely powerful. Tianqi was from the western region, Ziguang was from the immortal continent, and Panglai was from the overseas world. However, the faces of the people from the ancient sacred lands were extremely gloomy. Many people from the ancient sacred lands had died this time, and they were all juniors of the clan. This was unacceptable for the ancient sacred lands. The young cultivators of the clan were the hope of the future, but they had died tragically in a riot of beasts. This made the 3 ancient sacred lands extremely angry. The people from the 3 ancient sacred lands stayed in the Fire Dragon Town. There was news that the 3 ancient sacred lands would soon send a divine army to wipe out the beasts in the Fire Dragon Ridge. Chapter 278. Countless cultivators retreated from the Flaming Dragon Ridge in a sorry state. As a result, the Flaming Dragon Town became extremely lively. The 3 ancient sacred lands, Heavenly Pool, Purple Light, and Panglai, naturally attracted a lot of attention. However, other than the 3 ancient sacred lands, there were also some powerful forces, such as some ancient families and a few ancient immortal dynasties. However, these forces seemed to pale in comparison to the 3 ancient sacred lands. These ancient sacred lands had extremely mysterious inheritances. From the outside, they were shrouded in a mysterious veil. Moreover, everyone had only heard of these ancient sacred lands. They knew which states the ancient sacred lands were located in. However, no one knew the exact location. The ancient sacred lands were high and mighty, looking down on the world. The 3 ancient sacred lands were ancient existences that could compete with forces like the archaic Jiang family. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin walked towards the trading street of the Flaming Dragon Town. During this period of time, too many experts had come to the Flaming Dragon Town, so a trading street had appeared. Many cultivators would go to the trading street to set up stalls and sell things they did not need. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin arrived at the trading street. As expected, the trading street was bustling with people coming and going. There were many stalls on both sides, and they were all set up by cultivators. This is a superior grade flying sword, Heavenly Slayer sword. A cultivator was holding a treasured sword. It was a flying sword that contained astonishing power. With a slight shake, it produced a vibration in the void. Many people surrounded it. Lin Feng was shocked that someone was selling a superior grade flying sword. This was the first time he had seen such a high-grade flying sword. If this was the imperial capital of the Zhenwu country, it could be auctioned off. How much is this flying sword? How many gold coins? A young man asked. The cultivator immediately looked at the young man with disdain and said, Can this sword be bought with gold coins? I need a fire spirit rock. This Heavenly Slayer sword belongs to whoever has it. Obviously, This cultivator wanted to barter. This trading street wasn't an ordinary trading street. Many of the people here were experts from large forces. Therefore, they didn't lack money. What they really needed were some precious heavenly treasures. This was because some heavenly treasures couldn't be bought with money. For example, the fire spirit stone that the cultivator needed. It was said that the metal extracted from it was a material used to forge treasured artifacts. Where would we find a treasure like the fire spirit stone? That's or used to forge precious weapons. Many Yang realm experts are looking for it, but it's hard to find. The young man said, "If not, then why are you talking so much nonsense? Get out of my way." The cultivator's eyes suddenly widened. Lin Feng and the fire Qilin were strolling on the trading street when a young girl attracted Lin Feng's gaze. The young man was dressed in green. His figure was graceful, and his skin was as smooth as jade. He was as beautiful as a fairy. In front of her were a few porcelain bottles, which should contain pills. Lin Feng walked over, squatted on the ground, and asked, "Did you refine these pills?" The young girl nodded and said, "Is there anything you need?" Lin Feng inspected the pills and was astonished. Those pills were of the yellow level, medium level, and medium level. If the girl in front of him had concocted those pills, she must have been an alchemist of the yellow level, medium level, and medium level. Of course, it was also possible that she was an alchemist of an even higher grade. There was no rule that said that a high-grade alchemist couldn't refine low-grade pills for trade. Lin Feng asked, "How are you going to sell these pills?" "I don't want gold or silver. If you can take out some spirit herbs, you can exchange them for my pills," the young girl said. Her voice was gentle and pleasant, just like her. She looked beautiful and elegant. Lin Feng opened a bottle of pills and sniffed. "Is this a frenzy pill?" The young girl was startled. "You recognize it?" "I haven't seen it before, but I can smell it. It's the frenzy demon grass and heart-devouring grass," Lin Feng said. The young girl was startled. Who was this young man? He could smell the ingredients of the pills just by smelling them. Even she would find it difficult to do that. "Senior sister, we should go back. Teacher is waiting for us. We still have to go to the banquet." At that moment, a young girl walked over. This young girl looked to be about 16 or 17 years old. She had a delicate appearance and was also very beautiful. However, there was a trace of arrogance between her brows that made people slightly displeased. There was a young man in his 20s next to her. He was wearing white clothes and looked very handsome. "Qing Yao, I just came here with my teacher. Let's go back quickly. My teacher is chatting with Uncle Lu. They're waiting for us." The white-clothed young man's eyes suddenly lit up when he saw the green-clothed young woman, and then he said with a smile, "Wait for me," Qing Yao said with a smile. "How should I address you, young master?" "Lin Feng, you're an alchemist too?" Qing Yao asked curiously. "Yes." Lin Feng nodded. Seeing Qing Yao take the initiative to ask about Lin Feng, the young man's face darkened. A trace of jealousy appeared in his eyes. He put on a fake smile and asked, "Qing Yao, who is this?" Qing Yao smiled and said, "This is Lin Feng, Lin Gongzi." Lin Gongzi smelled the demonic frenzy pill I refined and was able to smell the ingredients. He must be a powerful alchemist. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Another young girl said. Her name was Xieling Hui. "I'm Chen Yang, a disciple of Peng Lai. May I know which power brother Lin is from?" Chen Yang cupped his fists and asked, "Ancient Holy Land's successor?" Lin Feng was surprised. It seemed like Qing Yao and Xieling Hui were from the same level of power. Lin Feng said, "True Martial Country's Azure Dragon Institute? True Martial Country? Pooh. We've never heard of such a small place. Senior sister, how can such a person be a powerful alchemist? I think he was just lucky to have guessed the ingredients of the demonic frenzy pill." Xieling Hui sneered and looked at Lin Feng with disdain. "Junior sister, don't be rude." Qing Yao reprimanded her. Xieling Hui said unhappily, "Senior sister, you're reprimanding me because of such a person. Am I wrong? Even the lowest disciple of the Heaven Lake Divine Land is a direct descendant of an ancient family. What kind of power is this true martial country? Even the emperor of the true martial country isn't qualified to be a guard of the Heaven Lake Divine Land, let alone an ordinary disciple of the true martial country." "Junior sister, You're too rude. Shut up. Qing Yao's face darkened. Humph, Xia Lingwei looked at Lin Feng with an evil glare. Her eyes were filled with disdain. Immediately after, she turned around and left. Shenyang said, Qing Yao, why did you reprimand Hui Er for such a lowly person? Besides, Hui Er didn't say anything wrong. Qing Yao sighed inwardly. She felt that she had been too harsh, so she said, go and chase Hui Er. Chapter 279. Lin Gongzi, I'm really sorry. They didn't do it on purpose. Ziyao looked at Lin Feng apologetically. Lin Feng smiled and said, it's fine. I won't take it to heart. Then I'll leave first. If fate wills it, we'll meet again. Ziyao smiled. Goodbye. Lin Feng nodded. Damn, who are they? Aren't they just disciples from the Heaven Lake Divine Land and Penglai Divine Land? Back then, I even peeked at the Heaven Lake Divine Mother bathing. I even beat up the Penglai Island Master until his teeth fell out. The fire Qilin curled its lips. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, there's such a thing? You weren't killed by the Heaven Lake Divine Mother? You weren't hunted down by the Penglai Island Master? Hey, I'm not bragging, but when I still had my divine power, even the sacred leaders of the ancient sacred land and the human emperor of the ancient dynasty had to be respectful to me. The fire Qilin said, now, it's like a dragon in shallow waters being toyed with by shrimps and a tiger being bullied by dogs. It seems like I'm the one being looked down upon. Lin Feng said, looking down on you is the same as looking down on me. The fire Qilin said indignantly. After pausing for a moment, it asked, why aren't you angry? Of course I'm angry, but Ziyao is there, so I have to give her some face. Lin Feng said, Ziyao is like heaven and earth compared to that dog shit Qinyang and Xiaolingfei. They both come from large factions, but why is there such a big difference? The fire Qilin muttered. Lin Feng didn't reply, but he clenched his fists in his sleeves. This world. It was such a naked world. He had no strength. He was destined to be looked down upon. The ancient sacred land? It was indeed high and mighty. However, sooner or later, the sacred leaders of the ancient sacred land would have to bow to him respectfully. Lin Feng took a deep breath and said, let's go in and see if there's anything we want to buy. On the trading street, Lin Feng bought some precious array formation materials and spirit herbs. His harvest was quite bountiful. When he was having lunch in a restaurant at noon, he heard a group of cultivators talking about an eye-catching gathering in fiery Dragon Town in the evening. This gathering was held in the Pavilion of Clouds and Rain. Not only would the experts from the major forces come, but it was said that even the people from the ancient sacred land would come as well. Other than that, even those mysterious spirit array masters and alchemists would appear. I heard that even Medicine King Luo Xinghe's disciple, Jing Chaotian, has come. Jing Chaotian? This person is said to only be 28 years old, but he's already a mystic rank alchemist. That's right, a mystic low-level mid-level alchemist. He's a genius that's hard to come by in 1,000 years. I heard that he's a famous figure in the Alchemist Union. Cloud and Rain Pavilion. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. Wasn't that where Ziyao and the others were heading? The fire Qilin said, this is a good opportunity to interact with others of the same trade. Lin Feng nodded. As night fell, Fire Dragon Town became more and more lively. People came and went in front of the Cloud and Rain Pavilion. The Cloud and Rain Pavilion was located in the most bustling area in the center of Fire Dragon Town. The environment was elegant and unique. The gathering of the major forces, spirit array masters, and alchemists was held in the Cloud and Rain Pavilion. Of course, not everyone was qualified to enter. They either came from a major family or a major force, or they were noble existences like spirit array masters or alchemists. Rumble. In the distance, a loud noise shook the sky. 9 ferocious Qilin beasts surrounded by black flames pulled a divine chariot over. Those are black flame beasts, right? Those are existences with the blood of primordial ferocious beasts flowing in their veins. They're actually using black flame beasts to pull the chariot. I wonder what kind of noble person is sitting inside. There were many onlookers in the surroundings, and they discussed animatedly. It's an important figure from the ancient sacred land, Purple Light. someone said. The Purple Light Sacred Land was definitely one of the oldest forces in the 3,000 prefectures. It was an ancient sect that was so powerful that it shocked the world. It was rumored that someone from the Purple Light Sacred Land had cultivated to the divine realm. In the past, the Purple Light Sacred Land had been an incredible cultivator who had established the Purple Light Sacred Land. 9 demonic beasts of black flames pulled the carriage. It stopped above the pavilion of clouds and rain, and over 10 cultivators emerged. The person in the lead was a skinny old man. There were 3 middle-aged men with powerful presences, and the rest were all young cultivators. Those people landed and entered the cloud and rain pavilion. Screech, screech. A long whistle rang out. In the distance, 9 snow-white-winged celestial horses pulled a bronze chariot over. In a flash, celestial music filled the air above Fire Dragon Town. It was like the sound of the Great Path. It was like a celestial being was traveling. Flowers fell from the sky, and golden lotuses bloomed on the ground. That scene was really astonishing. People from the Heaven Lake Sacred Land, someone exclaimed. They recognized who they were. Very quickly, the 9-winged celestial horses also stopped above the cloud and rain pavilion. More than 20 women walked out. The leader of the group was a beautiful woman who was about 30 years old. Those women were all extremely beautiful. They were like celestial beings from the 9 heavens. I've heard that the women of the Heaven Lake Sacred Land are all extremely beautiful. Now that I've seen them, I know how beautiful they are. They really are like celestial beings from the mortal world. Many people sighed. The group of people from the Heaven Lake Sacred Land also entered the cloud and rain pavilion. Many people were still talking about the celestial beings from the Heaven Lake Sacred Land. At that moment, roar! A dragon's roar came from the distance. The 9 flood dragons pulled the chariot over. People from the Penglai Ancient Holy Land. It was an ancient holy land from an overseas world. It was extremely powerful. It was the overlord of the overseas world. It was located in the East Sea world. The eastern part of Jinwu country was connected to the East Sea world. It had a very long coastline. The people from the Penglai Ancient Holy Land also entered the cloud and rain pavilion. After the strong cultivators from the 3 ancient holy lands arrived, many people entered the cloud and rain pavilion one after another. Apart from the 3 ancient holy lands, there were also many ancient clans, celestial dynasties, ancient sects, and so on. In the distance, a boiling cauldron of voices could be heard. Young, strong cultivators had arrived. He was an extremely handsome man. His temperament was otherworldly, and his clothes were as white as snow. It caused a huge commotion. Qin Mubai. Many people cried out in surprise, especially some young women who were screaming. Qin Mubai was the top genius of the 3,000 states. Not only did he come from a noble background, but he was also very powerful. It was said that he was especially good at playing the guqin. He was also very gentle. A man like this was simply perfect. Qin Mubai smiled and entered the cloud and rain pavilion. Soon, another young man arrived. He wore golden clothes and had a cold expression. His arrival also caused a huge commotion. Genie Qin, the top genius of the divine prefecture of the East County. There were still countless rumors about Genie Qin in the divine prefecture of the East County. Genie Qin also quickly entered the cloud and rain pavilion. Lin Feng and the Fire Qilin arrived and walked towards the cloud and rain pavilion. However, they were stopped by the guards. "Show me your invitation," the guard said. The Fire Qilin rolled his eyes. The Fire Qilin rolled his eyes. He was quite depressed. This kind of gathering had been stopped. In the past, no one had dared to stop him at the gathering of the Saint Lords of the ancient Holy Land. Thinking of this contrast, the Fire Qilin was furious. Lin Feng flicked his finger, and a twisting, faint purple flame appeared at the tip of his finger. It was like a spirit, dancing happily. When they saw the flame, the guards were shocked. They quickly bowed and said, "Young master, so you're an alchemist. We've offended you earlier. Please forgive us." These people were all from ancient clans, and they were very respectful when they saw an alchemist. Lin Feng sighed. Alchemists really had a high status. He asked, "Can I go in now?" "Young master, please enter," said the guard hastily while bowing before Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and entered the cloud and rain pavilion with the fire Qilin. Chapter 280. Inside the pavilion of clouds and rain, people came and went. It was very lively. Those who could come here were not simple people. The pavilion of clouds and rain was divided into 3 floors. It was elegant and unique. Ordinary cultivators would talk on the first floor. Those from the major factions would go to the second floor. The top experts would gather on the 3rd floor. Inside the pavilion of clouds and rain was a courtyard. There were rockery and strange stones everywhere. There were pavilions and terraces. The water of the stream shone on the stone bridge. There was also a bamboo forest. The grass was luxuriant. The scenery was as beautiful as a painting. Many people were scattered around. They talked softly in 2s and 3s. I wonder where Qin Mubai and Genie Chen ran off to? Lin Feng was looking for them. Back in the undying mountain range, Zishao had died tragically. The golden Buddha left behind by Zizhao's mother had been stolen. Lin Feng's main suspects were Lord Saber, Genie Chen, Qin Mubai, Fairy Mengyao, and the others. They were strong enough to kill Zishao and steal the treasure. However, Lin Feng was most suspicious of Lord Saber, Qin Mubai, and Genie Chen. This was Lin Feng's intuition. He did not know where this intuition came from, but Lin Feng felt that these 3 were the most suspicious. Come take a look. The newly unearthed ancient immortal treasure. Suddenly, a shout came from afar. It attracted many people's attention. Everyone looked over. It was a Taoist priest. He was slightly fat and had soybean-sized eyes. He looked a little wretched. A Taoist priest? Lin Feng was shocked. This was his first time seeing a Taoist priest. There was a mysterious Taoist priest in the 3,000 provinces. In the primordial era, the 3 Pure Ones had founded Taoism. It was said that the 3 Pure Ones were one of the oldest chaotic ancient gods. They were from the same era as the primordial dragonesque elephants. From this, one could see how long Taoism had been passed down. In the legends, there was a powerful Taoist priest, Laozi, who rode an ox out of Jiayu Pass. His purple qi spread for 30,000 miles. There were also rumors that Taoism had a supreme master who could calculate the universe. He could know the past 500 years, the middle 500 years, and the future 500 years. He knew everything that had happened in the past 1,500 years. It was hard to imagine just what kind of shocking power Taoism had. Even in the 3,000 continents, Taoism was shrouded in mystery. Taoism is very mysterious. It's said that it's hidden in a secret place. Very few Taoists come out. Fire Qilin said, "Have you dealt with Taoists before?" Lin Feng asked. Years ago, I had a conversation with a Taoist priest. He said that the Taoist priests were the best at making talismans and medicines. Actually, they used great deployment spells to make talismans. It could be said that the most important things about the Taoist priests were the skills of making talismans and medicines. Apart from that, they were also good at making spiritual deployment spells. It was said that they had the ability to communicate with yin and yang. In short, the Taoist priests were very mysterious and evil. Even I didn't know much about them. Fire Qilin said. In the past, the Fire Qilin was an existence that stood at the peak of the 3,000 provinces. Even someone like this knew very little about Taoism, so one could see just how mysterious Taoism was. Taoist priest, what kind of secret treasure are you trying to sell? Hurry up and show it to us. Many people gathered around. They were all very interested. Taoism had always been mysterious. If a Taoist priest was selling a secret treasure, it might really be priceless. Taoist priest Wu Yang, benefactors, please wait a moment. I'll show you the treasure. The Taoist priest flicked his horsetail whisk. He looked very dignified. However, his chubby face was a little vulgar. Many people couldn't help but laugh. Many people whispered. It said that Taoists were all incredible people. Why does this guy look so vulgar? Is he really a Taoist priest? Or is he a fake? Many people had the same question, including Lin Feng. They couldn't associate a vulgar Taoist priest with a Taoist priest. Someone asked, "How should I address you? Taoist priest?" "I'm Wu Liang." Wu Liang has no limits. Wu Liang has no calamities, no tribulations, no difficulties, said the Taoist priest. So it's Taoist priest Wu Liang. Nice to meet you. At that moment, the Taoist priest Wu Liang took out dozens of items. Many people couldn't help but roll their eyes when they saw them. Could this bunch of broken things be secret treasures? There was a long saber that was rusty beyond recognition. There was also a set of armor that was damaged beyond recognition. There was also a jade ruler that was broken into 2 pieces. It didn't have any spirit left. Are those the secret treasures you want to recommend to us? Someone asked, the corners of his mouth twitching. Everyone, don't underestimate these treasures. They were all dug up from ancient ruins. They used to be divine weapons. Even though they've been eroded by time, they're still quite powerful. The Taoist priest Wu Liang explained calmly. Everyone looked at the Taoist priest with disdain. Did he think they were idiots? The more they looked at the Taoist priest Wu Liang, the more they felt that he was a fake Taoist priest. There were many people who pretended to be Taoist priests in the 3,000 provinces. The Taoist priest Wu Liang seemed to sense everyone's unfriendly gazes. He couldn't help but shrink his neck and say, everyone, these are really divine weapons. I definitely wouldn't lie to you. Look at this saber. It might be rotten, but it can still cut through iron like mud. The Taoist priest Wu Liang picked up the saber and slashed at a huge rock. Crack! The rusty long saber was broken into 2 pieces. What the? Many people rolled their eyes. That damned Taoist priest was using such a broken item to trick people? If it wasn't for the fact that he was a Taoist priest, people would have already dealt with him. Using the identity of a Taoist priest to cheat people and avoid getting beaten up, Lin Feng clicked his tongue. The people in the surroundings started to disperse. Lin Feng was about to leave when the fire Qilin pulled on Lin Feng's sleeve and said, not everything is worthless. Do you see that pitch-black jar? Something doesn't feel right. Lin Feng looked in the direction the fire Qilin was pointing and saw a broken jar. More than half of the jar was missing. Lin Feng couldn't see anything different about it. Isn't it just a broken jar? Lin Feng asked. It's not that simple. Go and buy it. The fire Qilin said. Lin Feng nodded and walked towards the Taoist priest Wu Liang. I want this jar. Name a price. Young master, you have a good eye. It's enshrined on an altar. I'm guessing that it must be an extremely powerful treasure. The Taoist priest Wu Liang bragged until he couldn't continue bragging. He didn't know what the jar was for. He had checked it many times, but he couldn't find any secrets. Just tell me the price. Lin Feng said. 50,000 gold coins. The Taoist priest Wu Liang said. Deal. Lin Feng nodded and handed over 50,000 gold coins to the Taoist priest Wu Liang. That kid isn't stupid, is he? 50,000 gold coins for a broken jar like that? Many cultivators shook their heads and looked at Lin Feng mockingly. Lin Feng walked over to the fire Qilin and asked, what's so special about this jar? The fire Qilin looked at the jar and was shocked. I'll teach you a chant. Circulate your true qi according to the chant and try to inject it into the jar. Lin Feng nodded. A moment later, a message appeared in his mind. It was the chant that the fire Qilin had given him. According to the method recorded in the chant, he revolved his true qi and injected it into the broken jar. Boom! Suddenly, the jar in Lin Feng's hand came to life, and a suffocating aura emanated from it. It was as if a dormant primordial beast had awoken. Chapter 281. Oh my God! What's happening? Look, it's the broken jar in that little boy's hand. How is that possible? That broken jar is a precious treasure. Everybody was dumbstruck when they saw the jar in Lin Feng's hand. At this very moment, the broken jar emitted an incomparably terrifying fluctuation. Waves of distorted energy surged out from the broken jar. A black hole, like a black hole in the universe, flew out of the broken jar as if it could swallow everything. That was definitely an incredible treasure. When Lin Feng held the jar in his hand, he suddenly realized that his absorbing spirit was getting restless. It seemed like it was about to be activated. What's that? Lin Feng was astonished. He hadn't thought that the broken jar would be so terrifying. The fire Qilin said telepathically, indeed, it's that treasure. It's the legendary swallowing sky jar. Swallowing sky jar? Lin Feng was astonished. Just by hearing the name, He knew that the treasure was terrifying. Swallowing sky. Swallowing sky. It was a precious treasure that could even swallow the sky. The fire Qilin continued. The owner of the swallowing sky jar was the peerless demon emperor, the swallowing sky demon emperor. The sky-devouring demon emperor was a gigantic cultivator in the ancient times. Back then, the sky-devouring demon emperor was invincible, but then he died. His treasure, the sky-devouring jug, disappeared without a trace. It's said that the sky-devouring demon emperor had the same spirit as you. The sky-devouring demon emperor's spirit was his treasure. Lin Feng was astonished. The swallowing sky demon emperor. What a domineering name. That ancient being had the same devouring martial spirit as Lin Feng. No wonder his natal treasure was called the swallowing sky jar. It seemed like the swallowing sky jar was closely related to the devouring martial spirit. The fire Qilin continued. In the future, you will need to forge your own natal magical treasure. This natal magical treasure will evolve as your cultivation level increases. Once you reach a high level, you will be able to use your natal magical treasure. Only then will you be able to display your strongest battle strength. Lin Feng nodded. What kind of treasure is that? Those waves are terrifying. Look at that black hole. It seems like it can swallow everything. Many people pointed at the swallowing sky jar and shouted in astonishment. This treasure caused everyone's heart to palpitate and move. Lin Feng was overjoyed. He had an absorbing spirit, so he could use that treasure to its fullest potential. However, the jar was severely damaged. Many parts of it were missing. Perhaps he could find a way to find the remaining parts of the heaven-devouring jar in the future and reconstruct it. If he could really restore the heaven-devouring jar to its original state, it would be equivalent to a complete Saint King artifact. Lin Feng hastily withdrew his pure qi, and the jar gradually calmed down. Damn, my baby. Taoist Wuyang's chubby face twitched violently. He was so heartbroken that he almost convulsed. He actually sold such a treasure for 50,000 gold coins. What a great loss. Many people looked at Lin Feng with admiration and jealousy. Who would have thought the Taoist Sky Taoist? Taoist, quick, show us your treasures. Many people threw themselves at the boundless Taoist priest. They wanted to be like Lin Feng and find treasures from the pile of trash. The Taoist was overjoyed. What a bunch of idiots. See if I won't kill you. A commotion could be heard in the distance. A group of 5 or 6 people walked over. The leader was a young man who was about 17 or 18 years old. He was about the same age as Lin Feng. He was wearing an embroidered robe and looked very handsome. Tuoba Jun. He's a member of the Jin country's imperial family. He's the son of Qi Yun, the nephew of the Jin country's human emperor. Someone said in a low voice, pointing out the identity of the person who came. His identity was no small matter. The Jin country was a neighbor of the Zhenwu country. It was said that the human emperor of the Jin country and the human emperor of the Zhenwu country were good friends when they were young. They used to travel together. However, for some unknown reason, they broke off and the relationship between the Jin country and the Zhenwu country became tense. Tuoba Jun looked at Lin Feng and said, "Show me the treasure you just obtained." Tuoba Jun's attitude of pointing at Lan Shan had a sense of superiority. Lin Feng reacted to his arrogance and said indifferently, "Why should I show it to you?" "Fuck, kid. How dare you talk to our young master like that?" One of Tuoba Jun's guards shouted coldly. Said Tuoba Jun while waving his hand. The guard immediately shut his mouth. He was only looking at Lin Feng in a cold and detached way as if he was threatening Lin Feng. Lin Feng had better know what was good for him, otherwise there would be consequences. Tuoba Jun said, "I've taken a liking to this treasure of yours. You paid 50,000 gold coins for it, right? I paid 1,000,000 gold coins for it. You can sell it and earn 20 times the price. Now, take it out. I'll give you the gold coins, and you'll give it to me." Tuoba Jun spoke to Lin Feng in an unquestionable tone. Tuoba Jun wants to buy that kid's treasure for 1,000,000 gold coins. I wonder if he'll sell it? That treasure is extremely mysterious. 1,000,000 gold coins can't buy it. A treasure like that can't be bought with money. Yeah, if I were that kid, I wouldn't sell it either. Hey, can't you see? Tuoba Jun's attitude is unyielding. It seems like he wants to force a deal. That kid's clothes are ordinary. He doesn't look like he's from a big faction. That's why he dares to do this. Many cultivators discussed. Lin Feng glanced at Tuoba Jun and said indifferently, "Not selling." "What? Not selling? Kid, you paid 50,000 gold coins for something, and I raised the price by 20 times. You still won't sell it? You're not giving me face, are you? Let me tell you, anyone who doesn't give me face won't have a good ending." Tuoba Jun's expression sank, and his eyes flashed coldly. "Scram," Lin Feng said coldly. The surroundings suddenly became completely silent. Everyone stared at Lin Feng, dumbfounded. Many people thought they had misheard. What did that kid say? He actually told Tuoba Jun to scram. Is he tired of living? The Jin dynasty is an immortal dynasty. It's the strongest ancient dynasty in the East region. That kid actually dares to be so rude to Tuoba Jun? He's courting death. Many people shook their heads. They felt that Lin Feng's actions weren't wise. There were many experts gathered here, and they could sense Lin Feng's strength. He was just a general. In front of an immortal dynasty like the Jin dynasty, he was nothing. Tuoba Jun's expression sank. He still couldn't believe that someone dared to tell him to scram. "Kid, do you know what you're doing?" Tuoba Jun said coldly. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Scram. I won't say it a third time." Chapter 282. Many people were astonished. Nobody had thought that Lin Feng would dare to talk to Tuoba Jun like that. Telling Tuoba Jun to piss off was way too audacious. That brat. Does he not know Tuoba Jun's identity? It doesn't matter if he knows Tuoba Jun's identity or not. He's already in big trouble. Tuoba Jun isn't someone anyone can offend. Could that brat be from some powerful group? Of the 3 ancient holy lands, many dynasties and sects who came this time, there isn't such a person. He's probably from an ordinary group. He doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. He actually dared to offend someone he shouldn't offend. He's going to be taught an unforgettable lesson today. Some people were talking among themselves, looking at Lin Feng with pity. There were also many people who were indifferently watching the conflict. It had nothing to do with them anyway. They were just watching a show. Tuoba Jun's face was gloomy. He looked at Lin Feng coldly. "Young master." A few guards beside Tuoba Jun walked over. These guards all had deep and powerful auras. They were all at the martial general realm. "Teach that brat a lesson," Tuoba Jun said coldly. "Yes, young master." One of the guards stepped forward. That guard was tall and sturdy. His body contained a terrifying explosive strength. He threw a punch at Lin Feng. When he erupted, the power emitted from his body produced a series of sonic booms. A general of the 2nd Celestial Layer Guard. There were many experts in the crowd. With a single glance, they could roughly guess the guard's cultivation level. Just as the punch was about to hit Lin Feng stretched out his right hand. Ka! His right hand caught the incoming fist of the guard. "You!" The guard's expression changed drastically. He struggled violently, but he was shocked to find that no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. Lin Feng exerted a bit of force. Crack! The guard's palm was directly crushed by Lin Feng, and the guard couldn't help but let out a mournful scream. Lin Feng raised his leg and kicked the guard more than 30 meters away. Thump! Tuoba Jun's guard fell to the ground and fainted. Is this kid really that powerful? Many people were shocked. That was a guard in the martial general realm. Although he wasn't particularly powerful, Lin Feng was only 17 or 18 years old. His face was still young and tender, but he had defeated that guard in one move. From this, one could see how powerful Lin Feng was. "All of you, attack!" Tuoba Jun ordered with a gloomy expression. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The other 3 guards also rushed over and besieged Lin Feng. Those 3 guards were also generals. They were attacking Lin Feng from 3 different directions. They surrounded Lin Feng from all directions. However, Lin Feng's speed was simply too fast. He suddenly rushed towards the person in front of him. Before the 3 of them could succeed in their encirclement, Lin Feng had already rushed in front of the first guard and punched him. With a loud bang, the 2 of them fiercely collided. The first guard couldn't withstand Lin Feng's attack and was sent flying by Lin Feng. Crack, crack. His arm was broken and his body crashed into a fake mountain. The powerful impact caused him to spit out a mouthful of blood, and he fell to the ground. Although he didn't faint, he had lost the ability to fight. The other two guards shouted angrily and quickly rushed over, attacking Lin Feng from the left and right. The guard on the left used the roaring tiger fist. It was like a ferocious tiger attacking, ferocious and domineering. The guard on the right used the rending eagle claw. His hands clenched into the shape of eagle claws that were extremely sharp and could tear through anything. Danger! Seeing the two of them attacking together, many people cried out in alarm, thinking that Lin Feng would be taken down by the two guards. Who would have thought? With a swoosh, Lin Feng disappeared on the spot as if he had teleported. So fast! Some of the strong cultivators were watching in the dark. Even with their strength, when they saw Lin Feng's speed, they were astonished. Not far away, Jin Yichen looked over with an indifferent gaze. Qin Mubai's clothes were as white as snow. The more he looked over, the more surprised he was. Senior sister, that guy's speed is so fast. Even I couldn't see his movements clearly. A pretty girl in a light yellow dress snorted and said. Beside the girl was an extremely beautiful woman. She was dressed in white and looked like a fairy who had fallen from the 9 heavens. Fairy Pavilion's Fairy Mingyao, one of the top 10 beauties in the 3,000 continents. She also looked over, and there was a hint of surprise in her beautiful eyes. Swoosh! There was a flash of light, and Lin Feng appeared behind one of the guards. Look, that kid has appeared. He's too fast. I can't see his movements at all. Many people cried out in alarm, feeling shocked and moved. Bang! Lin Feng struck out with his palm and sent the guard flying, scattering his true qi and making him lose his ability to fight. Then, Lin Feng rushed toward the last guard. The guard's expression changed drastically. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Lin Feng threw a punch and sent the guard flying. Whoosh! At that moment, a cold light soared into the sky. Everyone could see that it was a jade ruler the size of a palm. It was a high-grade spiritual weapon, an extremely precious treasure. With a light strike, it could instantly shatter a 10,000 zhang tall mountain into pieces. The jade ruler was called the Dark Heavy Ruler, and it was forged from deep-sea dark heavy jade. Lin Feng felt the attack of the Dark Heavy Ruler, and his expression changed slightly. He did not meet it head-on, but quickly retreated. Kid, it's useless. Once I use my Dark Heavy Ruler, I won't let you go until you're bleeding. Tuoba Jun said coldly. Humph! Lin Feng sneered and took out the Devouring Heaven Jar. Lin Feng activated the Devouring Heaven Jar according to the method taught to him by the Fire Qilin. Buzz! A twisted black vortex formed in the Devouring Heaven Jar. The vortex was like a black hole in the universe, as if it could devour everything. Tuoba Jun's treasure, the Dark Heavy Ruler, flew quickly and swept toward Lin Feng. However, at that moment, the Devouring Heaven Jar released a terrifying devouring power that enveloped the Dark Heavy Ruler. The Dark Heavy Ruler was directly swallowed by the Devouring Heaven Jar. Wah! The connection between Tuoba Jun and the Dark Heavy Ruler was forcefully severed by the Devouring Heaven Jar. Tuoba Jun immediately suffered a backlash and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale. Come out, Dark Heavy Ruler. Lin Feng patted the Devouring Heaven Jar, and the Dark Heavy Ruler flew out. Lin Feng spat out a mouthful of true qi at the Dark Heavy Ruler and refined it. That's my treasure. How dare you steal my treasure? Give it back to me, or I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Tuoba Jun's precious treasure had been stolen by Lin Feng. He was going crazy. His face was distorted. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He took out the Dark Heavy Ruler and swept it across the void. With a bang, Tuoba Jun was sent flying. Chapter 283. That broken jar is so powerful. It directly cut off the connection between the Dark Heavy Buster Sword and Tuoba Jun. Oh my god, what kind of treasure is that broken jar? It's so powerful. Many people exclaimed as they looked at the sky-devouring jar in Lin Feng's hand. They wanted nothing more than to rush up and snatch it for themselves. Such a supreme treasure was truly too terrifying. The dark heavy Buster Sword was connected to Tuoba Jun's mind. Only by killing Tuoba Jun would one be able to snatch the dark heavy Buster Sword. However, Lin Feng's broken jar could forcefully cut off the connection between a cultivator and a spiritual weapon. This kind of ability was really too abnormal. Moreover, the dark heavy Buster Sword was so powerful, but it was easily devoured by the broken jar. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the broken jar was. Lin Feng was also shocked by the sky-devouring jar's power. He put away the sky-devouring jar and the dark heavy Buster Sword, then walked up to Tuoba Jun and looked at him indifferently. I really don't know where you got the right to be so arrogant. Scram, I can't be bothered to bicker with trash like you. Lin Feng looked at Tuoba Jun with disdain. At this moment, Tuoba Jun felt as if he had fallen from the clouds high above. His face became ferocious. Tuoba Jun looked at Lin Feng with hatred and said through gritted teeth, Brat, I'll remember you. Just you wait. If you offend me, Tuoba Jun, I'll definitely turn you into ashes. Tuoba Jun didn't forget to say a few words before he left. However, Lin Feng's face suddenly darkened. He looked coldly at Tuoba Jun and said, You really don't know what's good for you. I told you to scram, but you actually dared to provoke me. With that, Lin Feng grabbed Tuoba Jun's neck and lifted him up. Brat, let me go. I'm the crown prince of the Jin country, a relative of the royal family. If you dare to touch me, you're dead. Tuoba Jun roared. You're in my hands, and you still dare to threaten me? I really don't know where you get your confidence from. I think I should let you clear your head. Lin Feng carried Tuoba Jun to the pond. What is he trying to do? Many people muttered. Lin Feng turned Tuoba Jun upside down and stuck his head into the pool. What the? Seeing this scene, many people rolled their eyes and the corners of their mouths twitched violently. This was like stabbing a scallion upside down. Tuoba Jun was trapped by Lin Feng's spirit formation and couldn't struggle at all. Just like that, he was stuck in the pond, causing many onlookers to feel chills down their spines. Everyone looked at Lin Feng with awe and fear in their eyes. Who would have thought that such a delicate and pretty young man would actually think of such an evil punishment method? Sir, please come upstairs. At this time, a maidservant walked down and smiled at Lin Feng. The second floor was a place where only the top powers and influential people could go. Even the younger generation of ancient powers weren't qualified to go there. May I know who invited me? Asked Lin Feng. You'll know when you get there, said the maidservant. Lin Feng nodded and followed the maidservant to the second floor. The fire Qilin calmly followed Lin Feng. There weren't many people on the second floor. There were middle-aged cultivators and young cultivators. The one who invited Lin Feng was Goddess Meng Yao, which surprised Lin Feng. He had seen Goddess Meng Yao before outside the Undying Mountain range. She was a celestial being. Have we met before? Goddess Meng Yao's voice was gentle and pleasant. Outside the Undying Mountain range, I once saw Goddess Meng Yao. Lin Feng nodded. Even in front of someone like Goddess Meng Yao, he was neither servile nor overbearing. What's your name? Asked the girl next to Goddess Meng Yao curiously. Her name was Hong Xin and she rarely looked strange. She kept looking at Lin Feng. Lin Feng, so it's Lin Gongzi. This is my junior sister, Hong Xin said Goddess Meng Yao. Goddess Meng Yao smiled. When she looked back, her smile was extremely charming. Perhaps the saying, the 6 palaces are colorless, was referring to her charm? I have an ancient secret technique. How about exchanging that agility technique for yours? Said Hong Xin. She seemed to be very interested in Lin Feng's agility technique. Lin Feng smiled but didn't reply. Goddess Meng Yao said, Junior sister, don't be rude. At that moment, some people came down from the 3rd floor. They were young people, both men and women. When they saw Goddess Meng Yao, they walked over. Lin Feng was surprised to see Zi Yao and the others from the Heaven Lake Divine Land. There were 2 beauties in the world, and they were both peerless beauties. They were called the Twin Pearls. They were the genius alchemist Zi Yao from the Heaven Lake Divine Land and Goddess Meng Yao from the Fairy Pavilion. One of them was like a celestial lotus, and her temperament was ethereal. The other was like a fairy from the 9th heaven, and her temperament was otherworldly. Sister Meng Yao, I didn't think you'd come, said Ziyao with a smile. Sister Ziyao, long time no see. Goddess Ming Yao also smiled. Xialing Fei, who was next to Ziyao, bowed to Goddess Ming Yao. Greetings, Sister Ming Yao. Sister Ling Fei, you're welcome. Goddess Ming Yao smiled beautifully. The others also bowed to Goddess Ming Yao. She was the holy maiden of the fairy pavilion, and her status was very high. The fairy pavilion's influence was even greater than that of an ancient holy land. Goddess Ming Yao, I'm Chunyang from the Penglai Holy Land. Chunyang had a smile on his face like a spring breeze. Goddess Ming Yao smiled and nodded. Chunyang's gaze suddenly landed on Lin Feng, who was standing to the side. He looked at Lin Feng arrogantly and said, Kid, how did you get in here? Lin Gongzi, you're here too. Ziyao also saw Lin Feng and looked happy. Lin Feng nodded and said, I didn't think we'd meet again so soon. When he saw that Lin Feng was ignoring him, Chunyang's expression sank, and he said coldly, Kid, I'm asking you a question. Lin Feng glanced at Chunyang and said, I don't need to report how I got in, right? You're just a low-level cultivator from a tiny country. How can you be qualified to come to this kind of gathering? I suspect that you've snuck in here, and I can ask people to kick you out at any time. Chunyang's lips curved into a disdainful smile. Xialing Fei curled her lips and said, What are these guards doing? What kind of person can sneak in? Lin Feng frowned slightly. Chunyang and Xialing Fei were a little too full of themselves. Goddess Ming Yao looked unhappy and said, Lin Gongzi is my friend. Chunyang and Xialing Fei were stunned. Chunyang said, I see. He did not say anything else, and he only looked at Lin Feng with disdain. Chapter 284. At that moment, a commotion could be heard in the distance, attracting the attention of many people. Many people quickly gathered around. Sister, let's go and take a look. Hong Xianer whispered. Goddess Ming Yao nodded and said, Lin Gongzi, shall we go and take a look? All right. Lin Feng nodded. Xialing Fei said disdainfully, He's just a lowly cultivator. Why does Goddess Ming Yao value him so much? She still had a disdainful expression on her face. Xialing Fei came from an ancient power like the Heaven Lake Divine Land, and she was a genius alchemist. The people she came into contact with were also from top powers. Lin Feng came from a secular country like the Zhanwu country, so he naturally wasn't taken seriously by the heirs of top powers. Ziyao said, Sister, you shouldn't judge a person by their background. Even some sage emperors from the immemorial era came from lowly backgrounds, but their achievements were unparalleled. Xialing Fei sneered and said, Sister, you're using the sage emperors as an example? Is that kid even worthy? You should change your arrogant personality, said Lin Feng. Ziyao shook her head. Chunyang said, Actually, Sister Ling Fei is right. We're all heirs of ancient holy lands. That kid's status is too different from ours. He's not even from the same world. We should avoid interacting with people like him as much as possible. Otherwise, it'll damage our statuses. Ziyao didn't comment and said, Let's go and take a look. They walked towards a place not far away. Everyone, heroes have gathered here. There are as many strong cultivators here as there are clouds. I presume there are also high-level alchemists here? A cultivator around 30 years old said loudly. He was surrounded by the crowd. Who's that? Lin Feng was puzzled. He didn't understand why so many people were surrounding this person. His name is Qian Ruiyuan. He's a descendant of an ancient sage emperor. Hong Xianer whispered. Lin Feng was astonished. This person's status was extraordinary. No wonder so many people had gathered around him. Many people probably wanted to befriend him. Brother Qian, I'm Huang Shiji. I'm an alchemist. A cultivator around 30 years old walked out and cupped his fists. I am Zhanli, also an alchemist. I am. More than a dozen people walked out in succession, all with the identity of alchemists. It's rare to see alchemists, but there are so many of them today. Lin Feng whispered. Hong Xianer said, This is a high-level gathering of the top forces. Isn't it normal for there to be some alchemists? Furthermore, as far as I know, there are 7 or 8 spirit array masters here. Even though Hong Xianer came from a top-notch faction like the Fairy Pavilion, She was still envious when she talked about spirit array masters. Countless people wanted to become a spirit array master. Even if they couldn't become a spirit array master, they wanted to at least become an alchemist. However, out of 1,000,000 cultivators, it would be considered good if one of them could become a spirit array master or an alchemist. Therefore, spirit array masters and alchemists were highly respected. Senior sister, quickly look. It's Qian Rui Yuan, the descendant of the ancient Saint Emperor. I wonder why he came here to find an alchemist? We are alchemists. If we can form a relationship with Qian Rui Yuan, it will be of great benefit to us in the future. After seeing Qian Rui Yuan, Xialing Fei revealed an excited expression. The Tianwu continent's 3,000 continents was a world where strength was respected. Ancient factions, ancient sects, and celestial dynasties were all on the same level. Above them were some ancient families and clans. Below them were the ancient sacred lands, the 4 ancient empires, and the ancient families that had been passed down since the immemorial era. Among the top forces, such as the ancient sacred lands and the immemorial era, there were also strong and weak forces. The strongest forces were those that had been passed down from the ancient Saint Emperor. As a descendant of the ancient Saint Emperor, Qian Rui Yuan was definitely a figure that attracted the attention of the 3,000 continents. If it had been during the immemorial era, Qian Rui Yuan would have been the prince of the 3,000 continents of the Tianwu continent. Countless people from the ancient sacred lands and ancient families would have to bow to Qian Rui Yuan when they saw him. However, even if it wasn't during the immemorial era, the descendant of the ancient Saint Emperor still had a transcendent status. Chen said, if we can form a relationship with Qian Rui Yuan, it will be very important for our future. Qian Rui Yuan said, this time, I came here to ask for your help. I have a piece of black ironwood here, and I need to extract the divine liquid from it. If anyone can help me, I will give them a leaf from the tree of life. A leaf from the tree of life? Many people's faces were filled with shock. The tree of life was one of the 3 holy trees of the immemorial era. It was said that its leaves could bring people back from the dead. Let me try. A pharmacist walked out. My name is Zhou Zheng, and I come from the ancient Zhou clan. I'm a low-level mystic pharmacist. Why don't you give it a try? Qian Rui Yuan nodded and took out a palm-sized piece of wood. This should be the black ironwood. The black ironwood was the core of the ancient divine tree, the black ironwood. The black ironwood had long been extinct, so its value was immeasurable. Qian Rui Yuan took out his medicinal cauldron. Qian Rui Yuan's medicinal cauldron was purple in color with 4 dragons carved on it. That's the 4-dragon cauldron. It's said that when the cauldron was made, it was made with dragon blood. It's a priceless treasure. Many people cried out in surprise. Most of the time, the quality of a pharmacist's cauldron was a reflection of their status. A smug look appeared on Zhou Zheng's face as he placed the black ironwood into the 4-dragon cauldron. Following that, Zhou Zheng flicked his finger and a bluish-purple flame appeared at his fingertip. Roar! A ferocious beast could be faintly seen in the flame, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Many people's ears hurt from the roar. Someone cried out, that's a Bayan beast. It's the famous Bai and demonic fire. It's ranked 67th on the list of demonic fires. Indeed, it's the Bai and demonic fire. I spent a lot of effort to get it. Zhou Zheng said proudly. The 4-dragon cauldron and the Bai and demonic fire made Zhou Zheng very proud. Many pharmacists looked at him with envy. Let's start. Qian Rui Yuan said, don't worry, brother Qian. I won't let you down. Zhou Zheng nodded and flicked his finger. The Bai and demonic fire at his fingertips flew into the 4-dragon cauldron and started refining the black iron wood. The fire Qian said disdainfully, a mere Bai and demonic fire wants to melt the black ironwood? You're overestimating yourself. Only Lin Feng heard the fire unicorn's whisper. Lin Feng looked at Zhou Zheng, who was absorbing the black ironwood. Chapter 285. The scorching flames burned fiercely, emitting a suffocating temperature. The temperature in the room rose higher and higher. Zhou Zheng raised the temperature of the Bai and demon fire to the extreme, and at the same time, the 4-dragon cauldron seemed to come to life. The 4 dragons carved on the cauldron suddenly came to life and swam around the cauldron. Finally, they soared into the sky and flew into the cauldron, fusing with the Bai and demon fire and helping Zhou Zhang refine the black ironwood. As expected of a famous cauldron, it was so miraculous. But Zhou Zhang tried his best, but the black ironwood remained motionless. Zhou Zhang's forehead was covered in sweat as he muttered, "Impossible! How can I not refine a piece of spiritual wood?" "Brother Zhou, you can end it now," Qian Ruiyuan said. Zhou Zhang was unwilling, but he didn't dare go against Qian Ruiyuan's words. Although Qian Ruiyuan looked very amiable, don't forget who he was. He was a direct descendant of the ancient sacred king. His status was extraordinary. Going against Qian Ruiyuan's words was the same as courting death. "Sorry, I couldn't complete it," Zhou Zhang said apologetically. "It's fine." Qian Ruiyuan nodded. Zhou Zhang walked away with a defeated expression, and another alchemist tried to refine the black ironwood. But soon, the second alchemist failed as well. The fire Qilin whispered, "The black ironwood is an ancient divine wood, and it's resistant to fire. The refining method also has extremely strict requirements. How can it be so easy to extract the divine liquid from the black ironwood?" Qian Ruiyuan is a descendant of the ancient sacred emperor, so he must know a lot of high-level alchemists. Obviously, even those people can't extract it. These small fries still have fantasies about it. How laughable. Lin Feng kicked the fire Qilin, telling it to shut up. "Just keep it in your heart and don't say it out loud." If those alchemists heard it, they would skin you alive. Those alchemists weren't simple people. The fire Qilin was very dissatisfied with Lin Feng's kick, and it bared its teeth at Lin Feng. "What kind of spirit beast is this? It looks so cute." Hong Xian wanted to hug the fire Qilin when she saw it. The fire Qilin rolled its eyes and tried to grab Hong Xian with its claws. Hong Xian was so scared that she retracted her hand. "This guy is very fierce. Don't provoke him," Lin Feng said. Hong Xian nodded and snorted as she looked at the fire Qilin. The fire Qilin had a rather gloomy expression. In the past, the divine beast Lord Fire Qilin that swept through the 3,000 provinces, an existence that even the ancient sacred land's sacred lord had to call Lord, was actually called cute by a young girl. The fire Qilin had an urge to bang his head against a tofu and die. Alchemists tried one after another, but all of them failed. They were simply unable to refine the black ironwood. At this time, Xialing Fei walked out. "Are you from the Heaven Lake Divine Land?" Qian Ruiyuan raised his eyebrows. Xialing Fei was delighted and said, "Yes, I didn't think that you would still remember me." Not long ago, Xialing Fei, Ziyao, and the others had followed their elders to the 3rd floor to greet some seniors. At that time, Qian Ruiyuan was also on the 3rd floor. "Yes." Qian Ruiyuan nodded and said, "Let's begin then." "Yes," Xialing Fei said happily. It was as if being remembered by Qian Ruiyuan was a great honor. Xialing Fei took out a medicinal cauldron. This was also a precious medicinal cauldron called the Blood Iron Cauldron. It was completely blood red. Next, Xialing Fei took out her own flame, and a blue flame jumped out. The blue heart flame, ranked 36th on the Earth Flame rankings. Many people were shocked. This was a very terrifying earth flame that was located deep underground. This kind of earth flame was very difficult to refine. Countless people had tried to refine the blue heart flame but had failed and been burned to death by the flames. However, Xialing Fei was actually able to refine such a high-level earth flame. She was indeed worthy of being the successor of an ancient sacred land. Demonic fire is the flame inside the demonic beast's body. Earth fire is the flame produced by the movement of the core world. Demonic fire and earth fire are the same kind of flame, and many people can refine them. Demonic fire is the same kind of flame. Demonic fire is the same kind of flame. Demonic fire is the same kind of flame. Demonic fire and earth fire are the same kind of flame. Demonic fire and earth fire are the same kind of flame, and many people can refine them. Demonic fire is the same kind of flame that all demonic beasts have. Killing these demonic beasts can take away the flame. Earth fire is the same kind of flame. Many places may have the same kind of earth fire, and you can refine it as long as you find it. Xialing Fei took out the blue heart flame to refine the black ironwood. However, not long after, her face turned pale because the black ironwood did not move at all. Xialing Fei could only give up and retreat. After Xialing Fei, Chun Yang also walked out. Chun Yang used the Azure Ocean Cauldron. It was rumored that it was made from a kind of divine or found deep in the ocean and was extremely famous. As for Chen Yang's flame, it was ranked 29th, the red blood demon dragon fire. This kind of demon fire was abnormally strong. In the depths of the demon fire, there was a demon dragon that was roaring and shaking the sky. The red blood demon dragon was said to be a race born from the union of the dragon clan and the fire demon clan. Although it was not a pure dragon bloodline, it was still a descendant of the dragon clan and was very strong. Dragon roars came from the cauldron as the red blood demon dragon fire burned the black ironwood. However, the black ironwood did not move at all. How can this be? Chun Yang was very unwilling. He wanted to extract the divine liquid from the black ironwood. Not only could he obtain the Tree of Life's leaf, but he could also use this opportunity to become friends with Qian Ruiyuan. But now, everything was in vain. Chen Yang retreated with a pale face. Senior sister, go and try. Your purple gold blazing sky flame might succeed. Xialing Fei said. Ziyao nodded slightly and walked out. So it's Ziyao. Qian Ruiyuan recognized Ziyao, who was both beautiful and talented. Senior brother Qian, let me try, said Ziyao, taking out her cauldron. The cauldron was a fiery red cauldron, and there was a phoenix drawn on the cauldron. Heavens, it's the phoenix cauldron. It's that cauldron. According to legends, the phoenix cauldron was made by an ancient holy emperor. That ancient holy emperor wanted to turn the phoenix cauldron into the 109th divine cauldron, but he failed. However, even though he failed, the phoenix cauldron is still very close to the legendary 108 divine cauldrons, said someone in astonishment. Amidst everyone's startled cries, Ziyao took out her own flame. It was a kind of purple gold flame that fiercely jumped, emitting a noble aura. It's ranked second on the list of earth flames, the purple gold blazing sky flame. Many people gasped. Apart from the 72 legendary celestial flames, it was ranked second among all the flames. Many people had tried to enter the underground world to refine it, but they had all died in a sea of flames. Qian Ruiyuan's eyelids twitched as he said, Ziyao, as expected of an outstanding alchemist of the younger generation, please begin. Ziyao nodded and started using the phoenix cauldron and the purple gold blazing sky flame to refine the black ironwood. The fire Qilin whispered, that little girl has some skill. It's not easy to get your praise, said Ziyao. It's not easy, whispered the Lin Feng. Ziyao activated her violet gold sky rending flames to refine the black ironwood. But very quickly, Ziyao discovered that it wasn't so easy to refine the black ironwood. She increased the temperature of her flames, and at the same time, activated the phoenix treasured cauldron. The phoenix engraved on the phoenix treasured cauldron came to life and flew into the cauldron, spewing out phoenix flames to refine the black ironwood together with Ziyao. However, the black ironwood still didn't move. I failed. Ziyao shook her head. Even Ziyao failed. That's the combination of the phoenix cauldron and the purple gold blazing sky flame, but it still failed. Who else can refine the black ironwood? It's impossible to refine the black ironwood, right? Many people were discussing this. Qian Ruiyuan sighed. He needed the black ironwood's divine liquid, but many people had failed to extract it. Feeling helpless, he said, It's fine. Don't worry about it, Ziyao. Ziyao bowed slightly and retreated. Qian Ruiyuan put the black ironwood away and was about to leave. At that moment, a voice suddenly rang out. I wonder if I can give it a try. Chapter 286. Swish. Everyone's gaze turned to the person who spoke. Everyone discovered that it was actually a youth. Who's that? Even Ziyao failed, and he still wants to try? Is he also a disciple of an ancient holy land? I don't think there's anyone like him in those ancient organizations. Some people were pointing at Lin Feng and whispering to each other. You want to try too? Xialing Fei said disdainfully, You're an alchemist too? PFFF. Even a small country has alchemists? Is he an alchemist's apprentice? Or is he trying to attract senior brother Qian's attention? Don't make a fool of yourself here. Junior sister, shut up. Ziyao looked at Xialing Fei unhappily, then at Lin Feng apologetically. Lin Feng nodded slightly, indicating that he didn't take it to heart. Who's this little brother? Qian Ruiyuan looked at Lin Feng. Chen Yang said, Senior brother Qian, this kid is from this small country, Zhenwu country. He might have studied alchemy for a few days, but we don't know if he's refined his own flame. I think he's just trying to attract senior brother Qian's attention. Senior sister, Chen Yang and Xialing Fei are too much. Hong Xian wrinkled her nose and said, the disciples of ancient holy lands are very arrogant, and they look down on people from small organizations. Furthermore, Zhenwu country is a small country that can't even be found on the map of Tianwu continent's 3,000 provinces. Lin Gongzi is from Zhenwu country, so they naturally look down on him even more. In addition, they've all failed, but Lin Gongzi still wants to try. It's normal for them to humiliate him. Meng Yao said. Many people looked over, including Qin Mubai, Jin Yiqin, and the others. Qian Ruiyuan frowned slightly, not knowing if he was unhappy because of Lin Feng or because of Chen Yang's interruption. Said Lin Feng, I wonder if I can try? Qian Ruiyuan nodded and said, come and try. Lin Feng walked over. He took out his cauldron. Puff! The crowd burst into laughter. Lin Feng's medicinal cauldron was purchased from an auction house. Although it was worth tens of thousands of gold coins, it obviously couldn't be compared to other people's precious medicinal cauldrons. A good cauldron could buy several secular countries. This was the value of a medicinal cauldron. For example, Chen Yang's deep ocean cauldron was not something that could be measured with money. This deep ocean cauldron was enough to buy 10 countries the size of true martial country. As for Ziyao's Phoenix treasured cauldron, it was simply impossible to estimate its value. It was a treasure forged by a primeval divine emperor, and it was sufficient to cause a rain of blood. Kid, what kind of cauldron is this? Could it also be a precious cauldron? What was it made of? Chen Yang looked at Lin Feng with a faint smile. Lin Feng clenched his fists tightly and looked coldly at Chen Yang. Then, he loosened his clenched fists and said, concoct medicine. A cauldron is just a support. Puff. You're quite good at finding excuses for yourself. A slightly better cauldron costs billions of gold coins. Some famous cauldrons can't be bought with gold coins and require spirit stones. As for those precious cauldrons, even spirit stones can't buy them. Given your poor appearance, you can only use a medicinal cauldron used by apprentice alchemists, Qian Ruiyuan said. Qian Ruiyuan said with some displeasure. Brother Chen, if you have something to say, can you wait until Brother Lin is done before speaking? Chen Yang said. I misspoke. I hope Senior Brother Qian doesn't take offense. Qian Ruiyuan nodded and didn't say anything else. Chen Yang blamed Qian Ruiyuan's reprimand on Lin Feng. He looked at Lin Feng with a cold gaze. Can we begin? Qian Ruiyuan looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded. He stood in front of the table as Lin Feng placed the black ironwood into the cauldron. Lin Feng closed his eyes and pondered how to refine the black ironwood. Refining the black ironwood required not only a powerful flame but also the correct method. In fact, Ziyao's sky-rending violet gold fire could refine the black ironwood, but she had failed. That was because Ziyao didn't know the method. The fire Qilin narrowed its eyes at Lin Feng and muttered, You've learned 3,000 refining methods from the ancient alchemy god. If you can't even extract the divine liquid from the black ironwood, then it'll be too disappointing. Swoosh! Lin Feng suddenly opened his eyes and flicked his finger. A faint purple flame jumped out. Huh, what kind of flame is that? Many people were astonished. Faint purple. Could it be the 936th ranked violet void flame? Puff. As expected of someone from a small place. Even the flames he refines are so different. Some people sneered. Lin Feng acted as if he didn't hear the mocking voices. Every time he refined medicine, all of his focus would be on the cauldron. He flicked his finger. The purple earthcore flame flew out and wrapped around the black ironwood. An ancient divine wood like the black ironwood was very difficult to refine. The surface of the black ironwood was a very strange material that was impervious to fire and water. However, since it was a spiritual wood, there must be a way to refine it. Lin Feng thought for a while and came up with a method. He controlled the purple earthcore flame and burned the same area of the black ironwood. As long as he could destroy the surface structure of the black ironwood, Lin Feng would have a way to completely destroy the powerful defensive power of the black ironwood from the inside. No matter how hard a material was, it had a weakness. Lin Feng's mind was completely merged with the black ironwood and the purple earthcore flame. The purple earthcore flame's temperature was constantly changing. Every second, there would be 30 different temperatures alternating. This was an extremely huge test for an alchemist. Lin Feng used this extremely short period of 30 repeated temperature changes to create a huge impact on the black ironwood. This was a method passed down by the ancient alchemist god. If cultivated to the peak, one could create 10,000 different temperature changes in a second. If one could reach this level, any material would be disintegrated by the impact of these different temperature changes. However, Lin Feng's cultivation and soul power were not enough. Controlling the purple earthcore flame to change the temperature 30 times in a second was already the limit. When refining medicine, different temperatures collided to create a powerful destructive force. This was also the principle. Everyone's eyes looked at Lin Feng, Qin Yang, Xialing Fei, and the others were disdainful. They didn't think that Lin Feng could succeed. Bang! Suddenly, there was a loud noise. The alchemy cauldron on the table couldn't withstand the destructive force created by the Skyfire's 30 temperature changes in a second. The alchemy cauldron exploded. Chapter 287. Haha, as expected of a priceless cauldron. He just started refining it, and it already exploded. Chen Yang immediately laughed out loud, and the sarcasm in his voice was thick. If it were me, I'd leave right now. I don't want to continue making a fool of myself, said Xialing Fei disdainfully. Many people were pointing at Lin Feng, especially the alchemists. They looked at him with disdain. Lin Feng sighed. He hadn't expected the cauldron to be destroyed. The ancient alchemist's refining method was too destructive. 30 changes of temperature every second was too much for an ordinary cauldron to handle. I wonder if anyone can lend me a cauldron, said Lin Feng. Dream on. With your level, what if you blow up our cauldron? Some people curled their lips and said disdainfully, Lin Gongzi, use my phoenix cauldron. Ziyao took out her own phoenix cauldron. Ziyao, why bother with this kind of person? You'll lose your dignity, said Qin Yang. Chun Yang said with a gloomy expression. Ziyao frowned and said, I don't need your permission to do things, right? Get out of my way. Chun Yang's expression became unsightly. He had no choice but to step back. He looked at Lin Feng coldly. Thank you very much. Lin Feng looked at Ziyao gratefully. Ziyao smiled and put the cauldron on the table. Lin Feng controlled the fire and wrapped it around the black ironwood. He put it into the cauldron. Buzz. In a flash, the fire phoenix seemed to have sensed something and came to life. Flames dashed to the sky and revolved around the purple earthcore fire. It emitted a resonant phoenix cry. Huh, what's going on? When Ziyao activated the phoenix cauldron, the fire phoenix wasn't so active. Did you feel it? It's getting stronger and stronger. As expected, this fire phoenix is the cauldron spirit of the phoenix cauldron. It can use the power within the cauldron. The fire phoenix is reviving the power within the cauldron. Why? Many alchemists were puzzled. Ziyao also looked at the phoenix treasured cauldron in shock. This phoenix treasured cauldron was her cauldron and had accompanied her for 10 years. Ziyao was very familiar with the phoenix treasured cauldron. It was precisely because she understood the phoenix cauldron very well that Ziyao was incomparably shocked at this moment, because the power of the fire phoenix was growing stronger and stronger. Even when he, its master, activated the phoenix treasured cauldron, the fire phoenix had not been able to recover such a powerful strength. Furthermore, at this very moment, the fire phoenix's strength was still condensing. It's fire. It was his flame. His flame is not the purple ethereal flame that is ranked 936. Ziyao instantly thought of a possibility. Even his own purple-gold sky-splitting fire was unable to revive the fire phoenix to such an extent. Back then, he had only succeeded in refining the purple-gold sky-splitting flame with the help of the elders of the ancient sacred land. As for Lin Feng, Could it be that the level of that faint purple flame was even higher than his own sky-splitting purple-gold flame? How was this possible? After all, he only had that kind of background. How could he possibly refine such a powerful flame? Xiao quietly summoned her own flame. Different types of flames could sense each other. A higher-level flame would suppress a lower-level flame. When Xiao summoned her sky-splitting purple-gold flame, Xiao discovered that the sky-splitting purple-gold flame was violently trembling. The sky-splitting purple-gold flame had a fire spirit. The fire spirit of the sky-splitting purple-gold flame was trembling in fear, as if it had encountered a terrifying existence. Swoosh! Suddenly, the sky-splitting purple-gold flame took the initiative to drill into Xiao's body. No matter how Xiao tried to summon the sky-splitting purple-gold flame, the sky-splitting purple-gold flame wouldn't come out. The sky-splitting purple-gold flame's fire spirit even wanted to forcibly cut off its connection with Xiao. How can this be? My sky-splitting purple-gold flame is a top-tier earth flame. This rarely happens. Is it because of his flame? It's definitely not the purple ethereal flame. What kind of flame is it that can actually scare my sky-splitting purple-gold flame to such an extent? In Xiao's heart, it was as if huge waves were surging to the heavens. She couldn't help but look at Lin Feng. Who is he? Is he really from the true martial country? Xiao's heart was filled with confusion. As expected of the Phoenix treasured cauldron, Lin Feng was shocked. He could clearly sense some changes after using the Phoenix treasured cauldron. This change was extremely obvious because the purple earth core flame's destructive power against the black ironwood had increased tenfold after using the Phoenix treasured cauldron. This should be the Phoenix treasured cauldron's effect on the purple earth core flame. The more powerful a cauldron was, the more it could increase an alchemist's ability. For example, if one used an ordinary cauldron to refine a certain pill, they might not succeed even once out of 10 times. However, if one used a cauldron, they might succeed 10 times out of 10. This was the effect of a cauldron. Screech. Suddenly, a resonant phoenix cry was heard. The fire phoenix's power was raised to the limit. The fire phoenix directly charged into Lin Feng's purple earth core flame and perfectly fused with it. In an instant, the purple earth core flame's power increased by 30 times. Including the tenfold increase from before, the Phoenix treasured cauldron had increased the purple earth core flame's power by 300 times. 300 times. Is this the effect of the Phoenix treasured cauldron? Lin Feng was extremely shocked. Previously, the Fire Qilin had told him how powerful the 108 cauldrons were. The Phoenix treasured cauldron obviously couldn't compare to the 108 cauldrons, but at this moment, it had increased Lin Feng's power by 300 times. This greatly increased the purple earth core flame's power and the time it took to refine the black ironwood. Suddenly, Qian Rui Yuan, Qin Mubai, Genie Chen, Fairy Ming Yao, and 5 or 6 other experts were all astonished. Their eyes flashed as they looked at the Phoenix treasured cauldron on the table. Senior sister, what's wrong? Hong Xian asked curiously. Fairy Ming Yao looked at Lin Feng and said, "You'll know when you see it." Hong Xian snorted unhappily, but her eyes were fixed on Lin Feng. From time to time, she would look at the Phoenix treasured cauldron. Can this kid really do it? He's wasting everyone's time. Chun Yang curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Yeah, if he can't do it, then hurry up and finish it." "Don't waste time," said Xialing Fei. Her face was full of disdain. Some of the strong cultivators, who had noticed the changes in the cauldron, shook their heads when they heard Qin Yang and Xialing Fei's disdain for Lin Feng. Qian Ruyan looked at them coldly and said, "Shut up, or I'll throw you out." Swish. As soon as he finished speaking, the void trembled and 2 mysterious people in black clothes walked out. Many people gasped. Were they Qian Rui Yuan's bodyguards? Were they hiding in the void? No one had been able to discover them. How terrifying were those 2 people in black? When they saw the 2 people in black, Qin Yang and Xialing Fei were so scared that their faces turned pale. Qian Rui Yuan still cared about the reputation of the Heaven Lake Divine Land and the Penglai Divine Land. He waved his hand, and the 2 people in black silently disappeared. Many people felt their scalps go numb. What kind of technique was this? They were completely silent and hidden in the void. Chapter 288. No one expected Qian Ruiyuan to reprimand Qinyang and Xialingfei like this. After all, they were both successors of the ancient sacred land. The others didn't understand why Qian Ruiyuan would do this, so they didn't dare to speak. Only a few top experts who noticed the changes in the medicine cauldron knew why Qian Ruiyuan did this. Qinyang and Xialingfei naturally didn't dare to be jealous of Qian Ruiyuan. They were just ordinary disciples of the ancient sacred land. They were high and mighty outside, but their status in the ancient sacred land wasn't very high. Qian Ruiyuan was the direct descendant of the ancient sacred emperor. Even the sacred lord of the ancient sacred land had to be polite to Qian Ruiyuan, let alone ordinary disciples like them. They wouldn't dare to be jealous of such a person. Therefore, Qinyang and Xialingfei hated Lin Feng. If it weren't for you, why would Qian Ruiyuan reprimand us? The two of them looked at Lin Feng with cold eyes. Lin Feng didn't seem to notice what was happening around him at all. His gaze was completely focused on the medicine cauldron. At this moment, a corner of the black ironwood had been broken by Lin Feng. The method passed down by the ancient alchemy god was indeed correct. With the support of the phoenix cauldron, it greatly reduced the time Lin Feng needed to break the black ironwood. Under Lin Feng's control, the purple earthcore fire drilled into the black ironwood. Cracking sounds came from the medicine cauldron. Everyone looked at the medicine cauldron. How is this possible? Cries of disbelief rang out one after another. The black ironwood was cracking bit by bit. It's done. Qian Ruiyuan took a deep breath. He had looked for several powerful alchemists and even the medicine king, Luo Xinghe, but they couldn't break the black ironwood. Qian Ruiyuan planned to go to the middle sacred sky region to look for the #1 alchemist in the Tianwu continent, the eccentric flame saint, to help. It was said that the flame saint had snatched a mysterious supreme treasure in a secret realm some time ago and was besieged by countless experts. No one knew where he was now. Qian Ruiyuan came to the Eastern Divine Land because there were rumors that the Flame Saint had come to the Eastern Divine Land. However, he did not find the Flame Saint in the Eastern Divine Land, so he planned to return to the Middle Divine Land to continue looking for the Flame Saint. However, he didn't expect a young man to successfully break the black ironwood. How is this possible? How did he do it? Qinyang clenched his fists tightly, his eyes filled with disbelief. He was from an ancient sacred land. None of them could do it. Such a lowly person had actually managed to break open the black ironwood. Why was this? Jealousy. A flame was. Lin Feng's. Xialingfei was the same. She found it hard to believe that the kid she had looked down on had actually broken through the black ironwood. This scene completely shattered Xialingfei's pride and confidence. Oh my god, this guy is so powerful. Hong Xianer exclaimed. Fairy Mingyao muttered, indeed, he's a mysterious guy. Everybody was staring at Lin Feng. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Many alchemists couldn't accept it. They had looked down on Lin Feng. They had mocked Lin Feng's cauldron and Lin Feng's flame. But now, it seemed like they were slapping themselves in the face. The hard outer layer of the black ironwood completely fell off, revealing the purple tree trunk that was wrapped in the black ironwood. Lin Feng used his celestial fire to surround the purple tree trunk. Next, it was time to extract the divine liquid from the trunk. That's great. Qian Ruiyuan clapped his hands excitedly. He urgently needed the divine liquid from the black ironwood to refine a cauldron of spirit medicine. Otherwise, he wouldn't have searched everywhere for alchemists to help him extract the divine liquid from the black ironwood. Now that he was almost done, he let out a sigh of relief. The purple earthcore fire wrapped around the trunk. Sizzling sounds of burning could be heard. Ashes fell to the bottom of the phoenix cauldron. Soon, Lin Feng had turned the trunk into ashes, and a purple spirit liquid appeared in the cauldron. Lin Feng continued to control the temperature of the purple core fire and the method of refining the purple core fire. He was refining the purple core fire. The impurities in the liquid were gradually refined by Lin Feng. An hour later, Lin Feng was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. He had finished refining the medicinal liquid. Lin Feng withdrew the purple earthcore fire and wrapped the purified substance with his true qi. This is? When they saw the substance Lin Feng had refined, everyone's eyebrows twitched. It's crystalline. How could it be refined to such a degree? Ziyao looked at the purple crystal-like particles in shock. No, that's impossible. How could someone refine the spirit liquid into a crystalline state? The alchemists shook their heads in disbelief. Only alchemists knew how difficult it was to do that, unless all the impurities in the medicinal liquid were extracted. Then, they had to extremely condense the medicinal liquid to achieve this. The steps seemed simple, but the process was unimaginably complicated. The first step was purification. Who would dare to say that they could extract all the impurities in the medicinal liquid? It was almost impossible. If the first step was difficult, how could the later steps be possible? However, the truth told everyone that the purple crystal-like particles were real. Everyone looked at Lin Feng in shock or disbelief. How in the world did he do this? It was too unbelievable. It's done. Lin Feng placed the purple crystals in a porcelain bottle and handed it to Qian Ruiyuan. Qian Ruiyuan came back to his senses and asked, "How should I address you?" Lin Feng, "Haha, good brother Lin. Today, I owe you a favor. This is the reward we agreed on." Qian Ruiyuan took out a white jade box and opened it. Inside was a jade-green leaf. A leaf from the tree of life. Many people looked at the leaf with fervent gazes. Many of them wished they could snatch it away right now. It was rumored that a single leaf from the tree of life could bring someone back to life. "Thank you." Lin Feng took the white jade box and divided the leaf into two. He picked up the phoenix cauldron and half of the tree of life's leaf and handed them to Ziyao, saying, "Thank you, Fairy Ziyao, for lending me the cauldron earlier. Please accept this half of the tree of life's leaf." Many people looked at Ziyao with jealousy. She had only borrowed the cauldron once, yet she wanted half a leaf from the tree of life. Many people were annoyed. If they had known this would happen, they would have lent the cauldron to this young man. Chapter 289. Ziyao had never thought that Lin Feng would give her half of the tree of life's leaf. She naturally knew how precious it was. Even the Heaven Lake Divine Land couldn't take out a leaf from the tree of life. However, Lin Feng had given it to her because she had lent him the phoenix treasured cauldron. Apart from admiration, Ziyao also admired Lin Feng and was curious about him. This guy is so generous. That's a leaf from the tree of life. Even our fairy pavilion only has one. Hong Xian looked at Ziyao with envy. Fairy Mingyao said, "This person is really not simple. His courage is admirable. He'll definitely soar into the sky in the future." "It's the first time I've heard senior sister praise someone like that," Hong Xian said in surprise. Mingyao smiled and looked at Lin Feng. Her beautiful eyes were twinkling in a strange light. Ziyao said, "The tree of life's leaf is too precious. I can't accept it." Lin Feng said, "Without Fairy Ziyao's help, I wouldn't have been able to obtain the tree of life's leaf. Please accept it." "All right. Thank you, Lin Gongzi." Ziyao nodded and put the leaf and the phoenix treasured cauldron away. Qian Ruiyuan smiled at Lin Feng and said, "Brother Lin, I wanted to stay for one more day to discuss alchemy with you, but I have urgent matters to attend to and must return to the Middle Holy Sky Continent. If you come to the Middle Holy Sky Continent in the future, remember to come to the Divine Mountain to find me." Many people were envious when they heard Qian Ruiyuan's words. Being on good terms with an ancient holy emperor's descendant would definitely be beneficial to their future. "All right, if I go to the Middle Holy Sky Continent in the future, I'll definitely visit Brother Qian." Lin Feng cupped his fists. Qian Ruiyuan nodded and left. "Haha, Brother Lin. I'm Shui Hyping from the Qingyang sect." "Brother Lin, I'm Li Shige from the Purple Sun Pavilion." After Qian Ruiyuan left, many people came to greet Lin Feng, wanting to befriend Lin Feng. Naturally, everyone could see that Lin Feng, at such a young age, was actually able to purify the divine liquid from the black ironwood and even refine it into a purple crystal state. This kind of refining technique was something that none of the mystic rank, high rank, or earth rank alchemists present had ever possessed. Clearly, in the future, Lin Feng was bound to shine brilliantly. Perhaps he would become a great alchemist. Regardless of whether Lin Feng really came from a small faction or if he deliberately said this to hide his true identity, many people seemed to foresee that Lin Feng would inevitably rise to power in the future. At this time, Lin Feng was still young. If they made friends with Lin Feng, when Lin Feng rose in the future, they would not have the chance to make friends with him. Looking at Lin Feng, who was like a moon surrounded by stars, Chun Yang's eyes were gloomy and filled with jealousy. Everyone, there are many alchemists here. Why don't we move to a private room and talk about alchemy? I'm sure that everyone is interested in Lin Feng's alchemy skills. Let's listen. An old man said with a smile. This old man was a mystic rank, high rank, and peak rank alchemist. Old Wu is right, Brother Lin. Later, you must tell us how you broke the black ironwood and refined the divine liquid into a crystal state. Such a powerful refining technique, not to mention seeing it, I've never even heard of it before. Another alchemist said. Everyone looked at Lin Feng expectantly. Said Lin Feng, I'm not as talented as you, masters, but since you don't mind, let's exchange ideas. All right, said Lin Feng. Everyone couldn't help but cheer, and one after another, they went to a private room not far away. Lin Feng said goodbye to Fairy Ming Yao and Hong Xi in air and went to a private room. It was normal for alchemists to communicate with each other. After all, only by communicating with each other could they improve themselves. Even if Lin Feng hadn't appeared, this meeting would still have been held. Lin Feng picked out some things that could be said and told everyone. Many people nodded thoughtfully. Lin Feng's experiences had been told to him by the Fire Qilin, so it would be very beneficial for alchemists. Many people admired Lin Feng even more. At such a young age, he actually had such a deep understanding of alchemy. He was really a peerless genius. Lin Feng also wanted to make friends with alchemists. Alchemists had an extremely high status in the 3,000 provinces of the Tianwu continent. Many alchemists often had huge forces behind them. Therefore, befriending more alchemists would definitely only bring benefits and no harm. Xialing Fei's interest was waning. Seeing her senior apprentice sister Zi Yao sitting next to Lin Feng, she couldn't help feeling a bit envious. Lin Feng's ability had completely shattered all of Xialing Fei's pride. For the first time, this proud girl had realized her own inadequacies. She was filled with curiosity about Lin Feng, but now, she didn't know how to talk to Lin Feng. As for Qin Yang, he hated Lin Feng to the core, especially when he saw Zi Yao and Lin Feng talking so intimately. Chun Yang's eyes were burning with fury. Chun Yang had always been pursuing Zi Yao, but he hadn't made any progress. Now that he saw Zi Yao and Lin Feng being so close, he was naturally infuriated. Lin Feng and Zi Yao were discussing alchemy. Zi Yao had come from an ancient holy land and had seen many things. Furthermore, she had systematically studied all kinds of alchemy knowledge. That was something Lin Feng couldn't compare to. Of course, Lin Feng also had his own advantages. His powerful spiritual strength, his powerful heavenly flame, and the flame Qilin's knowledge. Lin Feng had benefited greatly from his discussion with Zi Yao. It was the first time that Lin Feng had participated in so many alchemist meetings. Everybody had their own opinions. It was very helpful for him to learn from other people's experiences and learn from them. Lin Feng could learn from them and improve himself. After a full 4 hours, the exchange finally ended. Everyone walked out one by one. Zi Yao said, I don't know where Lin Gongzi lives. Tomorrow, I'll go find Lin Gongzi to discuss it. When Chun Yang heard Zi Yao's words, his expression became extremely ugly. He could sense that Zi Yao had an extremely good impression of Lin Feng. This made Chun Yang burn with jealousy. He said ambiguously, Zi Yao, there are some people in this world who say one thing on the surface and another behind your back. They might be people who fish for fame. You must not be fooled. When the time comes, it will be too late to regret it. Lin Feng frowned slightly. Qin Yang, I know you don't like me. Isn't it because Zi Yao is in contact with me that you're jealous? If I'm not wrong, you've always been chasing after Zi Yao. But Zi Yao doesn't have the slightest interest in you. As long as you see Zi Yao in contact with others, you'll hate them. You're always targeting me because of this, right? Your heart is really as big as a needle's eye. Many people laughed out loud. Indeed, this Qin Yang was a narrow-minded person. Lin Feng's description was quite appropriate. After being exposed by Lin Feng, Chun Yang's expression became extremely gloomy. He looked coldly at Lin Feng. Brat, are you provoking me? I think you're courting death. Do you believe that I can crush you to death as easily as crushing an ant? As he spoke, Chun Yang walked towards Lin Feng, as if he wanted to make a move. He was not pretending to be disdainful. He was truly disdainful. Being from an ancient holy land made Chun Yang feel high and mighty. Moreover, Chun Yang's strength was far superior to Lin Feng's. It would be strange if someone as arrogant as Chun Yang thought that Lin Feng was a worthy opponent. Lin Feng said, "You're really boasting shamelessly. I'm afraid that it won't be you who can deal with me in 3 moves. It will be me who can deal with you in 3 moves." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng waved his right hand. Next, a treasure flew out. It was the sky-devouring jar that Lin Feng had obtained earlier. Damn, it's this broken jar again. Many people were shocked. They had already seen how powerful this broken jar was. It could directly devour other people's spiritual weapons. Now, Lin Feng had taken out that broken jar again. Many people's hearts were pounding. Haha, what kind of trash is this? Brat, I'll let you know what a powerful treasure is today. Chun Yang sneered, looking indescribably arrogant. He took out a treasure. It was a palm-sized seal, and Chun Yang held it in his hand. What kind of broken toy is this? Lin Feng asked. Chun Yang flew into a rage because of Lin Feng. He sneered and said, "This is the seal of mountains and rivers. It's a peak spiritual weapon. This must be the first time a lowly person like you has seen such a high-level treasure, right?" Lin Feng sneered. "You keep saying that others are lowly, but you're just an ordinary disciple from an ancient holy land. Those who don't know might even think that you're a descendant of an ancient holy land." Haha, this guy really knows how to mock people. Look at Chun Yang's expression. He's about to die from anger. Many people laughed when they heard Lin Feng's mocking of Chun Yang. Chun Yang's expression was gloomy. He said coldly, "Brat, you're courting death." With a furious shout, he activated the seal of mountains and rivers. The palm-sized seal of mountains and rivers flew out. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The seal of mountains and rivers suddenly grew bigger. Very quickly, it became as big as a 100-meter-tall mountain and moved towards Lin Feng to crush him. What a powerful treasure! As expected of a peak spiritual weapon. That brat won't be able to block the attack of a peak spiritual weapon, right? Of course he won't be able to. That treasure is too powerful. Moreover, Chun Yang is a martial king. That brat is only a general. How can he possibly fight against a martial king? Many people discussed spiritedly. When they saw the seal of mountains and rivers move towards Lin Feng, they all looked at him with pity. They all thought that Lin Feng was going to suffer. But who would have thought that just as the seal of mountains and rivers was about to crush Lin Feng, a terrifying devouring power gushed out of the broken jar. A distorted black hole appeared in the broken jar. It looked like a space-time black hole that could devour everything. The devouring power enveloped the seal of mountains and rivers. The 100-meter-tall seal of mountains and rivers quickly shrank to the size of a palm and was devoured by the broken jar. PFFF. Chun Yang looked as if he had been struck by lightning. He immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and staggered backwards. "My seal of mountains and rivers! You little bastard! How dare you steal my seal of mountains and rivers?" Chun Yang roared like a madman. Heavens! Even a peak spiritual weapon like the seal of mountains and rivers was stolen? Many people were dumbstruck. They remembered how Lin Feng had used the broken jar to steal Tuoba Jun's heavy ruler. That broken jar was really too terrifying. "I'll kill you!" Chun Yang roared furiously. He quickly rushed over and threw a punch at Lin Feng. Displaying the strength of a martial king, the aura emanating from Chun Yang's body made many people feel suffocated. Lin Feng continued to control the heaven-devouring jar. It enveloped Chun Yang and tried to devour him. However, it failed in the end. The heaven-devouring jar was not complete and could not devour cultivators. At its current stage, it could only devour magic treasures. However, the heaven-devouring jar's powerful devouring power still restrained Chun Yang, making it difficult for him to move, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. He took a step forwards and threw a punch at Chun Yang. Bang! The punch landed on Chun Yang's chest. Crack, crack. Lin Feng's attack broke Chun Yang's sternum. Chun Yang's condensed true qi was also dispersed by the punch. He lost his ability to fight for a short time and fell to the ground miserably. Lin Feng quickly walked over and grabbed Chen Yang's neck as if he were a chicken. Lin Feng lifted Chen Yang up. "Aren't you very strong? You dare to be arrogant in front of me with this little ability?" Lin Feng sneered and raised his right hand, slapping Chen Yang's face. Slap. Lin Feng's slap ruthlessly landed on Chen Yang's face. Slapping a martial king's face was really satisfying. Chapter 291. Many people looked at this scene in shock. No one had expected such a situation. Lin Feng was fine, but Chen Yang, a martial king expert, was defeated by Lin Feng and was even slapped in the face. This was too dramatic. "Ah, brat, you're courting death. Let me go, or I'll make you wish you were dead," shouted Chen Yang furiously. His face was contorted, and he was looking at Lin Feng with hatred in his eyes. He wanted to tear Lin Feng apart, but now that he had fallen into Lin Feng's hands, he had no power to resist. Lin Feng looked indifferent as he said coldly, "You still dare to be arrogant? It seems that you haven't learned your lesson." As soon as he finished speaking, he attacked with both hands. Asterisk slap, slap, slap. Asterisk slap after slap landed on Chen Yang's face. The corners of many people's mouths twitched violently. As a disciple of an ancient sacred land, he was being slapped in the face in front of so many people. Everyone knew that this Chen Yang was definitely done for. He had embarrassed the ancient sacred land. He would definitely be abandoned by the ancient sacred land. "Brat, I'm the successor of an ancient sacred land. Just you wait. Wait for the revenge of the Penglai sacred land." Chen Yang cursed bitterly. This idiot. A few people from the Penglai sacred land who were hiding in the dark heard Chen Yang's words, and their expressions became extremely gloomy. Even if he wanted to take revenge on Lin Feng, he couldn't say it out loud. If he said it out loud, everyone would know that it was the Penglai sacred land who had done it. Lin Feng sneered and said, "The Penglai sacred land is a famous ancient sacred land in the Tianwu continent's 3,000 provinces. Do you think that it would interfere in a conflict between the younger generation? If I was older and had a higher cultivation than you, the Penglai sacred land might have intervened. But I'm a few years younger than you, and my cultivation is lower than yours. You still lost to me, and you still have the face to use your sect to threaten me? You're really an embarrassment to your sect." Chen Yang used the Penglai sacred land to threaten Lin Feng, but Lin Feng was not afraid of the Penglai sacred land's revenge. Because of this, many people would have their eyes on the Penglai sacred land. How could the Penglai Holy Land become a disciple who would ruin the reputation of an ancient Holy Land for an ordinary disciple? Furthermore, the 3,000 prefectures of the Tianwu continent also had a rule that the major powers were not allowed to interfere with the matters of the younger generation. The disputes between the younger generation should be resolved by the younger generation themselves. If the younger generation had a dispute and the older generation intervened, wouldn't it be a mess? After all, which great power didn't have experts of the older generation? If they were to stand up for the younger generation of their own forces, how could the other party still have a chance to live? If this continued, the younger generation of the various major forces would all be killed by these old fellows. Wouldn't that be the end of their line? That was why there was a rule that forbade the older generation from interfering in the disputes between the younger generation. It was precisely because of this rule that Lin Feng had attacked Chen Yang without any hesitation. "Brat, if you can't kill me, I'll kill you sooner or later." Chen Yang continued to curse viciously. He had no intention of begging for mercy. At this moment, Lin Feng wanted to kill Chen Yang. He didn't want to leave this disaster alive. However, when Lin Feng wanted to kill Chen Yang, he clearly felt a few cold gazes sweeping over him. They should be from the Penglai divine land, right? Lin Feng took a deep breath and restrained his killing intent. Instead, he carried Chen Yang to the side of the pool. Seeing Lin Feng's evil smile, many people couldn't help but shiver. They recalled how Lin Feng had treated Tuoba Jun. Could it be that this brat was going to treat Chen Yang the same way? Many people were speechless. Chen Yang wasn't someone Tuoba Jun could compare to. Penglai Divine Land would definitely hate him for treating Chen Yang this way. However, these people naturally didn't know what Lin Feng was thinking. Since he had already offended the Penglai Divine Land, he wasn't afraid of offending them even more. The Penglai Divine Land was restricted by the rules of the 3,000 prefectures of the Tianwu continent. The older generation experts wouldn't interfere. If the younger generation interfered, it would be hard to say who would win. Amidst everyone's astonishment, Lin Feng turned Qian Yang upside down so that his head was facing downwards. "What are you doing?" Qian Yang cried out in fear. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Nothing. I'm just trying to wake you up." As soon as he finished speaking, he stuck Qian Yang into the pool and cast a confinement spell to imprison Qian Yang so that he couldn't struggle. "This guy is really evil. He actually thought of such a method to punish others," Hong Xian said with a smile. Said Hong Xian smiling. Her eyes were twinkling when she looked at Lin Feng. Goddess Mingyao smiled and said, "Lin Feng isn't a simple person. He looks reckless, but he's already calculated everything. Let's go." Lin Feng waved at the fire Qilin. The fire Qilin quickly followed Lin Feng outside. Goddess Mengyao's beautiful eyes twitched when she saw the fire Qilin beside Lin Feng. "Senior sister, what's wrong?" Hong Xian asked when she noticed Goddess Mengyao's slight change. "Nothing." Goddess Mingyao shook her head. She narrowed her eyes and looked at the fire Qilin thoughtfully. In the next few days, the Fire Dragon Town was not peaceful because experts came one after another, especially the experts from the 3 ancient Holy Lands. This time, the people from the 3 ancient Holy Lands were furious. They wanted to wipe out the Fire Dragon Ridge and avenge those who died in the 3 ancient Holy Lands. 5 days later, the experts from the 3 ancient Holy Lands arrived and began to attack the beasts in the Fire Dragon Ridge. Many other forces, big and small, also participated in the attack. In a short period of time, countless beasts in the Fire Dragon Ridge were killed. During that time, a thief called Little Demoness had appeared in Hualong Town. It was said that this little devil committed all sorts of crimes and specialized in raiding and plundering. Countless cultivators had suffered under the evil hands of this little devil, causing cries of resentment to be heard everywhere. "Organize our forces and denounce Little Demoness. We must capture him and cut him into 10,000 pieces. Otherwise, we won't be able to appease our anger." In Hualong Town, the people who had been robbed by Little Demoness gathered together and entered Hualong Town to find Little Demoness. Lin Feng was dumbstruck. What kind of person was that? How could he make people angry? Lin Feng decided to enter Hualong Town again to find the second Bluestone Talisman. Many ferocious beasts in Hualong Town had been killed, so the danger level in Hualong Town was very low. Many places where people couldn't go before could be explored. That was very helpful for Lin Feng to find the Bluestone Talisman. In the afternoon, Lin Feng set off again. However, Lin Feng didn't notice that when he left Hualong Town, someone was watching him coldly. Lin Feng entered Hualong Town. Chapter 292. The Fire Qilin did not follow him out. Lin Feng entered the Fire Dragon Ridge alone. "Kill!" In the forest, shouts of killing rang out, attracting Lin Feng's attention. He sneaked over. These were 2 groups of cultivators. Clearly, they did not belong to the same camp. Now, they were fighting each other. Lin Feng saw dozens of purple bloodgrass growing on the cliff. The purple bloodgrass was a spirit herb used to refine profound-grade medicinal pills. It was extremely precious. The appearance of dozens of purple bloodgrass here caused the 2 groups of cultivators to fight over it. This kind of thing was very common in many places. Cultivators killed each other in order to compete for spirit herbs, dharma treasures, and so on. Lin Feng was not surprised. He did not stop and quickly left. Lin Feng went to many places to find the whereabouts of the second Bluestone Martial Talisman. However, there was no response from the first Bluestone Martial Talisman. This made Lin Feng slightly disappointed. However, Lin Feng found that the number of ferocious beasts in the forest had decreased by a lot. It seemed that many of the ferocious beasts had been killed by the 3 Holy Lands and many other forces. However, not all of them had died. Some of the stronger ferocious beasts had survived. These ferocious beasts usually had their own territories and had gained intelligence. Cultivators were not willing to take the initiative to provoke these powerful ferocious beasts. A large number of ferocious beasts have been killed. The fire dragon can no longer launch a beast tide. I wonder if the experts from the ancient Holy Lands are going to start slaughtering dragons? Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked into the depths of the fire dragon ridge. Slaughtering dragons was something that he had only heard of in legends. Now, it was happening right beside him. He continued to search for the bluestone martial talisman in the forest. That night, Lin Feng heard an earth-shattering roar of a beast. There's a ferocious beast. Lin Feng was shocked. This was definitely an abnormally powerful ferocious beast. Its roar contained a terrifying aura. Boom! Then, a terrifying fluctuation spread out. Cultivators were fighting with the ferocious beast. Lin Feng sneaked over and found 3 cultivators fighting the ferocious beast. It was a silver-white ferocious beast with the head of a tiger and the body of a lion. It was abnormally ferocious. 3 cultivators surrounded this ferocious beast, but they were unable to kill it. Instead, this ferocious beast killed 2 of them. The last person also escaped with heavy injuries. The ferocious beast roared and quickly chased, but in the end, it was unable to catch up. This beast is also injured. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. The ferocious beast dragged the 2 corpses and leaped into the forest, disappearing without a trace. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. It seemed to be a tiger-lion beast. However, according to the classic of mountains and seas, the fur of the tiger-lion beast was brown, but this tiger-lion beast was snow-white. Could it be a mutant tiger-lion beast? No wonder he was so powerful. However, he did not know why they were fighting. Could it be that there was some kind of treasure in this forest? Lin Feng pondered. He decided to explore and carefully walked in the direction of the tiger-lion beast. The tiger-lion beast's cave was at the bottom of a cliff. There were many bones scattered around the cave, and the entire forest exuded a gloomy feeling. The tiger-lion beast's temperament is ferocious. These 3 people also dared to provoke the tiger-lion beast. Why? Lin Feng slightly frowned. The night was pitch black, and he did not find anything, so he retreated. He planned to wait until the next day to explore again. The next day, Lin Feng once again came to the tiger-lion beast's cave. That is, not far from the tiger-lion beast's cave, Lin Feng saw a stalk of spirit medicine. It was a blood-colored spirit medicine, and it was surrounded by a bloody light. Blood spirit grass. It's actually this kind of spirit medicine. Lin Feng was shocked. The blood spirit grass was the main ingredient in refining the blood spirit pill. The blood spirit pill was a mystic-ranked, low-ranked spirit medicine. This kind of pill had an extremely powerful effect, and that was to improve a cultivator's bloodline. It was well known that a cultivator's talent played a crucial role in many aspects. Firstly, it was related to the martial soul. Secondly, it was related to the bloodline. Lastly, it was related to one's physique. Without further ado, it was time to talk about bloodline and physique. Firstly, physique. Some people were born with superhuman strength, some people cultivated at lightning speed, and some people were born faster than others. What was the reason? This was physique. An innate advantage. Those with strong physiques often cultivated at twice the speed with half the effort. Why were the demons so strong? Because their bodies were strong, far stronger than humans. That was their innate advantage. It was the same for the primordial God-Fiend clan. They had terrifying physical bodies, which was the embodiment of their powerful physique. Therefore, the primordial God-Fiend clan was exceptionally terrifying. Their physique had an extremely great advantage, and as they cultivated, this advantage would grow bigger and bigger. It was equivalent to winning at the starting line. As they cultivated, this gap would gradually widen. And bloodline was even more important than physique. Why were the descendants of the ancient divine emperor so powerful? Because they had inherited the powerful bloodline of the ancient divine emperor. The bloodline of the ancient divine emperor was tempered with the power of the heavenly Tao. The power of the heavenly Tao was infused with the power of the heavenly Tao. It had power that surpassed that of the primordial God-Fiends. Therefore, the descendants of the ancient divine emperor were extremely powerful. Among cultivators of the same level, the descendants of the ancient divine emperor were almost invincible. That was because of bloodline. The stronger the bloodline, the faster one's cultivation would improve. When one's cultivation broke through, the increase in combat strength would also be greater. For example, Lin Feng's cultivation was at the second firmament of the martial general realm, but he could suppress cultivators at the fourth and fifth firmament of the martial general realm. Why was that? Because the Archean Dragonesque elephant skill was not only tempering Lin Feng's body, strengthening his physique was an improvement in physique, but it was also tempering Lin Feng's bloodline. His bloodline was also getting stronger. A body that surpassed that of the primordial god fiends. A bloodline that surpassed that of the primordial god fiends. How could Lin Feng not be strong? Looking at the blood spirit grass, Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He remembered that the fire Qilin had helped him improve the primordial blood spirit pill. If he could obtain this blood spirit grass and refine it into a primordial blood spirit pill, how much would it fetch at the auction house? Thinking of this, Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. He quickly rushed towards the blood spirit grass. Lin Feng reached out to grab the blood spirit grass. Suddenly, he felt a sinister and terrifying aura rushing towards him. That terrifying aura directly enveloped Lin Feng, making Lin Feng's hair stand on end. He looked in the direction of the cave and saw that the silver-white tiger-lion beast was staring at him with its cold eyes as if it was looking at a delicious prey. Some of the ferocious beasts in the forest loved to hunt humans, especially those who had gained intelligence. That was because humans knew how to cultivate. The higher their cultivation, the stronger their bloodline. These ferocious beasts could greatly increase their strength after devouring the cultivator's bloodline. At the same time, many cultivators had elixirs, which these ferocious beasts could consume to increase their cultivation. Although the tiger-lion beast in front of him was ferocious, it had already gained intelligence. After seeing Lin Feng, it let out an excited and ferocious roar. It could feel that Lin Feng's powerful bloodline was much stronger than the two humans it had just eaten. The tiger-lion beast growled and leaped towards Lin Feng. Chapter 293. Danger. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. He quickly grabbed the blood spirit grass and retreated. However, even with Lin Feng's fast speed, he still couldn't completely dodge the Tigan beast's attack. Bang! There was a dull sound of impact. The Tigan beast's powerful claw slammed into Lin Feng's body and sent Lin Feng flying. Lin Feng fell to the ground and rolled over a dozen times before stopping. Wah! Lin Feng couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. He felt as if his organs were about to be displaced. Lin Feng's body was comparable to a yin-yang realm expert's body. His body was even stronger than a divine demon of the same level. How strong was his defense? But that tiger-lion beast had managed to injure Lin Feng so easily. One could imagine how terrifying that tiger-lion beast was. Lin Feng put the blood spirit grass into his spirit ring and looked at the Tigan beast with a serious expression. This Tigan beast had already locked onto him. It wouldn't be easy for him to escape. With the Tigan beast's speed, if he let his guard down, it could rush up and bite his neck. Since it's hard to escape, I'll play with you. Lin Feng gritted his teeth. A battle of life and death could often stimulate a person's potential. Lin Feng wasn't afraid of a battle of life and death. Instead, he was slightly excited. Roar! The Tigan beast roared and charged at Lin Feng again. Its sharp claws flashed with a cold light as it clawed at Lin Feng's chest. Lin Feng quickly moved to the left. Because of his golden wings, Lin Feng was extremely fast. He dodged the Tigan beast's attack like a shadow. He instantly arrived at the Tigan beast's side and punched at it. Bang! Lin Feng's powerful punch landed on the Tigan beast's body. A hint of joy appeared on his face. I did it. One had to know that with Lin Feng's current strength, he could smash a mountain peak with a single punch, not to mention a body of flesh and blood. However, what Lin Feng didn't expect was that when his powerful punch landed on the tiger-lion beast's body, the tiger-lion beast's body suddenly trembled. He suddenly realized that there was a terrifying power gushing out from the tiger-lion beast's body. This power instantly blocked his punch and rebounded back at him. Demonic power! Lin Feng was shocked. The so-called demonic power was the ability of those ferocious beasts to absorb the essence of the sun and the moon. Such a ferocious beast was equivalent to knowing how to cultivate. The demonic energy produced by their bodies was equivalent to the true chi of human cultivators. Once the demonic force was produced, the strength of the ferocious beast would increase exponentially. The powerful rebounding force violently shook Lin Feng's body, directly sending Lin Feng flying. With a loud bang, Lin Feng's body slammed into a large tree that would require a dozen people to wrap their arms around it. Crack! The large tree was directly broken. The tiger-lion beast roared and jumped up, pouncing towards Lin Feng, who fell to the ground. It wanted to get rid of Lin Feng. Facing the ferocious attack of the tiger-lion beast, Lin Feng hurriedly used the Qiongqi treasure technique. This tiger-lion beast was really powerful. If he didn't use some powerful moves, it would be really difficult to resist. Roar! The ferocious beast Qiongqi appeared and pounced towards the tiger-lion beast. What Lin Feng didn't expect was that this tiger-lion beast was really abnormally powerful. The tiger-lion beast's sharp claws suddenly tore. Qi. The Qiongqi that Lin Feng transformed from the Qiongqi treasure technique was torn apart by this tiger-lion beast. Sky Tyrant Thunder Incantation? Lin Feng's reaction was fast enough. When the ferocious beast Qiongqi pounced on the tiger-lion beast, he had already launched the second wave of attack. Dense thunderbolts were condensed by Lin Feng. A ball of thunderbolts light appeared in Lin Feng's palm. Lin Feng released the ball of thunderbolts light. That ball of thunderbolts light ruthlessly bombarded the body of the tiger-lion beast. With a loud bang, the tiger-lion beast was blasted away by Lin Feng's ball of thunderbolts light. This tiger-lion beast's defense was extremely powerful. Lin Feng had already experienced it before. However, the power of Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Thunder Art was really powerful. It actually destroyed the tiger-lion beast's defense. The tiger-lion beast was blasted away. Moreover, many parts of its body were blasted open. Blood immediately flowed out. The tiger-lion beast let out an incomparably painful roar. Its pair of eyes were filled with resentment as it looked at Lin Feng. This tiger-lion beast had already unlocked its spiritual wisdom. It had its own thoughts and emotions. Although the tiger-lion beast was injured by Lin Feng, it didn't leave. Instead, it approached Lin Feng again. At the same time, the tiger-lion beast opened its bloody mouth. A terrifying wave of energy surged out from the tiger-lion beast's bloody mouth. Blood-colored energy condensed in the tiger-lion beast's bloody mouth. That blood-colored energy turned into a blood-colored ball of light. It contained a destructive power and was spat out by the tiger-lion beast. Feeling the terrifying power of the blood-colored ball of light, Lin Feng's face slightly changed. He quickly rushed to the left. Bang! That blood-colored ball of light directly exploded on Lin Feng's left side. Rubble flew everywhere. Fortunately, Lin Feng dodged the tiger-lion beast's attack. The tiger-lion beast's attack didn't stop. Wave after wave of attacks bombarded Lin Feng. This blood-colored ball of light's attack power was very shocking. Lin Feng was slightly embarrassed as he dodged the tiger-lion beast's attacks. After more than 20 consecutive attacks, the tiger-lion beast was unable to hit Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng felt that the tiger-lion beast's attack power had clearly weakened. Obviously, the tiger-lion beast was starting to get tired after more than 20 consecutive attacks. Lin Feng quickly rushed to the tiger-lion beast's side. He used the Tyrant Thunder Incantation again. Dense lightning energy bombarded the tiger-lion beast. With a loud bang, the tiger-lion beast was directly sent flying. The tiger-lion beast's injuries worsened. It let out a low roar. It looked at Lin Feng with fear in its eyes. This vicious beast had intelligence. It knew that it wasn't a match for Lin Feng. It didn't want to fight anymore. It let out a low roar and ran away. In a flash, it disappeared into the forest. Seeing the tiger-lion beast leave, Lin Feng also planned to leave this dangerous place. Whoosh! But at this time, a dense number of arrows were shot towards Lin Feng. Not good, there's an ambush. Lin Feng's face slightly changed. He quickly jumped towards a tree. All the arrows missed their target. Who? Come out? Lin Feng said coldly. Little bastard, you have some skills. Even a vicious beast like the tiger-lion beast was injured by you. A hoarse voice sounded. A fierce-looking man with a centipede-like scar on his face jumped out of the forest on a huge wolf. Chapter 295. Bang! Lin Feng took advantage of the situation and kicked out. This powerful kick landed on the abdomen of the giant silver wolf and sent it flying. Ow ow! The giant silver wolf could not help but let out a series of blood-curdling screams after receiving this blow. Swoosh swoosh! Suddenly, two giant silver wolves pounced from the right and the back. Their razor-sharp claws swiped at Lin Feng. These people from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps were experts themselves. Now that they had used the Heavenly Wolf secret skill, their speed and strength had greatly increased. Moreover, these people had a tacit understanding of each other. After they launched their attacks, wave after wave of attacks were launched at Lin Feng. They did not give Lin Feng any time to react at all. If it had been anyone else, they would have panicked in such a dangerous situation. They would not have been able to defend themselves and would not have been able to escape death. However, Lin Feng was very calm. This was because Lin Feng, who had mastered the golden body wings, was simply too fast. With a light leap, he could leap a distance of 100 meters. It was as if he had shrunk the ground into an inch. In the face of these giant silver wolves' attacks, he could still easily dodge them. The two giant silver wolves attacked. Swoosh! They only saw a flash of light in front of their eyes, and Lin Feng disappeared without a trace. In the next moment, Lin Feng appeared beside one of the giant silver wolves. His hand was as fast as lightning. He grabbed the giant silver wolf's neck with both hands and suddenly exerted force. Crack! The giant silver wolf's neck was directly broken by Lin Feng. The giant silver wolf died on the spot. This giant silver wolf was transformed from a human cultivator through a secret skill. Therefore, after its neck was broken by Lin Feng and it died, it immediately returned to its human form and lay on the ground, lifeless. The second silver wolf's pupils constricted upon seeing this. He quickly retreated because the silver wolf sensed danger. However, Lin Feng's speed was too fast. With one leap, he crossed the distance of 20 to 30 meters in an instant. A crackling sound came from Lin Feng's hand. When the silver wolf saw Lin Feng condense a lightning ball in his hand, before it could react, Lin Feng had already taken it out. Bang! The ball of lightning suddenly exploded beside the silver wolf. With a loud bang, the giant silver wolf didn't even have time to cry out before it was blown apart by the lightning ball condensed by Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Thunder Art. Roar, roar. Low growls could be heard as huge silver wolves pounced towards Lin Feng from all directions. Like 4 streaks of silver-white light, they quickly rushed over. Devouring Martial Spirit. Triple Spatial Magnetic Field Superposition. Boom. Lin Feng activated his Devouring Martial Spirit to form a spatial magnetic field superposition. However, when the 4 silver wolves pounced on them, they were immediately imprisoned by the triple spatial magnetic field superposition. Qiongqi's treasure skill. Kill. Lin Feng shouted as he condensed the Qiongqi's treasure skill. Roar. A loud roar shook the sky. The Qiongqi beast appeared. The Qiongqi beast came in front of a silver wolf and stretched out its huge claws to grab the silver wolf's body. Then, it suddenly tore it apart. Fresh blood splattered. The silver wolf was directly torn in half by the Qiongqi beast. The Qiongqi beast threw the corpse away and quickly pounced on the second silver wolf. The other 3 silver wolves that were imprisoned by Lin Feng's spatial magnetic field superposition were horrified. They originally thought that they could easily kill Lin Feng after using the Heavenly Wolf secret skill. However, they did not expect Lin Feng to be so terrifying. Now, they could not resist at all. The 3 silver wolves struggled, trying to break free from the spatial magnetic field superposition. However, they could not break free at all. At this moment, the Qiongqi beast had already rushed over. The Qiongqi caught the second silver wolf and directly tore it into 2 halves. Then, it caught the third silver wolf and tore it into 2 halves. The 4th silver wolf was also not spared and was also torn into 2 halves by the Qiongqi. After these silver wolves died, they turned into human form and were torn apart. It could be said that their deaths were extremely tragic. In a short period of time, 7 masters of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps had been killed by Lin Feng. This man is cruel. Attack him from a distance. One of the Silver Wolves spoke. They were transformed by a human using a secret skill. Naturally, it was very normal for them to be able to speak the human language. The remaining 10 Silver Wolves all opened their bloody mouths. They opened their bloody mouths and condensed balls of energy. These balls of energy seemed to contain the power to destroy everything. These were silver balls of energy. Lin Feng felt that the energy between heaven and earth was quickly rushing towards these silver wolves. Then, all the energy converged into the balls of energy. The power of the silver balls of energy in the mouths of the silver wolves became stronger and stronger. Such a strange secret skill. It can even condense balls of energy to attack from a distance. How strange. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. The power of the Heavenly Wolf secret skill had indeed exceeded Lin Feng's expectations. He did not expect the Heavenly Wolf secret skill to be so strange. Boom, boom, boom. The silver wolves opened their bloody mouths and spat out balls of energy towards Lin Feng. 10 silver energy balls drew a beautiful silver-white arc in the air. These silver balls of energy contained a terrifying power that could destroy heaven and earth. It was suffocating. Boy, let's see how you'll die. The eyes of the silver wolves flickered with a ferocious glint. Whoosh! When the silver wolves' balls of energy bombarded him, Lin Feng moved. He suddenly shot out. His speed was too fast. In an instant, he broke away from the encirclement of the 10 balls of energy. The 10 balls of energy all exploded on the ground. Dust flew everywhere, but Lin Feng was safe and sound. Lin Feng could not see the position of the silver wolves in the fog, but he could feel their auras. Although the silver wolves' vision was not obstructed by the fog, Lin Feng's speed was too fast. They spat out balls of energy one after another, but not a single one could hit Lin Feng. Lin Feng easily dodged them all. Soon, Lin Feng arrived beside the silver wolves. Lin Feng's hands were filled with balls of lightning. Lin Feng used the Sky Tyrant Lightning Manual. Boom, boom, boom. Lin Feng took out the balls of energy that he had created with the Sky Tyrant Lightning Manual. The 10 balls of energy exploded. Retreat. The silver wolves all cried out in fear. But it was too late. The balls of energy exploded, and the terrifying energy contained a destructive power that drowned the 10 silver wolves. Tragic cries rang out. Bam, bam, bam. One by one, the silver wolves' bodies exploded. They were torn apart. They died on the spot. Chapter 296. Huff. Huff. Lin Feng panted heavily. The battle was extremely intense and had consumed a lot of his energy. He felt a deep sense of exhaustion. With the deaths of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group's experts, the thick fog began to dissipate. Is that brat finally going to die? Duanmu Sky Wolf sat on the giant wolf and looked coldly at Lin Feng. When the Heavenly Wolf secret technique was used, the fog would appear and block Lin Feng's vision. Naturally, it would also block Duanmu Sky Wolf's vision. At this moment, the fog gradually dissipated, but Duanmu Sky Wolf saw a scene that made his eyes pop out of their sockets. Lin Feng stood not far away and panted heavily. On the ground, there were piles of broken limbs, dead. The Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group's experts were all dead. They were the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group's most elite force. They were also Duanmu Sky Wolf's strongest trump card. However, they were all killed by Lin Feng. Little bastard, you're courting death, shouted Duanmu Tianlang furiously. He then jumped into the air and threw himself at Lin Feng. Duanmu Sky Wolf's body emitted a terrifying killing intent. It was a killing intent that could not be suppressed and could not be concealed. Duanmu Tianlang wished he could cut Lin Feng into 10,000 pieces and cut him into 10,000 pieces. Boom! Duanmu Sky Wolf swung his fist and a powerful punch flew towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng also quickly moved and punched towards Duanmu Sky Wolf. The 3 devouring martial spirits were activated. Lin Feng's strength was raised to the extreme. A loud bang sounded as Lin Feng and Duanmu Sky Wolf fiercely collided. Then, Lin Feng flew out like a kite with a broken string. Lin Feng crashed into a 1,000-meter-tall mountain. The 1,000-meter-tall mountain couldn't withstand such a terrifying strength, so it collapsed and buried Lin Feng. In the next moment, the ruins exploded. Lin Feng jumped out of the ruins and landed on the ground. He looked at Duanmu Tianlang with a solemn expression. Duanmu Tianlang's attack just now was too terrifying. This person should be at the 5th layer of the martial general realm. 5th heavenly layer of the martial general realm, possessing the strength of 625 dragons. Lin Feng now had the strength of 5 draconic elephants, which was equivalent to the strength of 50 draconic elephants. With the circulation of his triple-layered martial soul, his strength could be raised to 150 dragon power. However, even with 150 dragon power, there was still a difference of 4 times compared to Duanmu Tianlang's 625 dragon power. With such a huge gap, Duanmu Tianlang already had the ability to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng took a deep breath as a trace of seriousness appeared between his brows. I never thought that you would have such a powerful cultivation at such a young age. It seems that I have underestimated you. However, you will not be able to escape death today. What a pity for your amazing talent. Duanmu Tianlang's eerie voice sounded out. He dashed over again and threw a punch at Lin Feng. Qiongqi's treasured technique. Roar. The ferocious beast, Qiongqi, appeared. Its roar shook the heavens as it pounced towards Duanmu Tianlang. Facing the ferocious beast's attack, Duanmu Tianlang couldn't help but sneer. His powerful punch fiercely smashed forward. With a loud bang, the Qiongqi was directly blown apart by Duanmu Tianlang's punch. Duanmu Tianlang's cultivation was truly powerful. After breaking Lin Feng's Qiongqi treasure technique, he quickly rushed forward and threw another punch at Lin Feng. This punch was actually surrounded by a dense blood-red light. This move was called Blood Demon Fist. The blood-red light vaguely condensed into a blood-red figure. Blood Demon descends. Demon exterminates the world. A deep voice came out from the blood-red figure's mouth. This Blood Demon King's aura made one's heart palpitate. It was as if they were facing an ancient demon. I'll break your Blood Demon. Lin Feng roared as his hands formed seals. The Sky Tyrant Lightning Art was used by Lin Feng. Crackle. The power of lightning intertwined, forming a terrifying power that could destroy everything. The intertwined power of lightning, under Lin Feng's control, slashed towards Duanmu Tianlang. Lin Feng had only cultivated the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art for a short period of time. Although he had only just reached the beginner stage, the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art was too powerful. Even if Lin Feng had only reached the beginner stage, the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art itself was too powerful. It could still unleash an extremely terrifying attack power. The power of lightning bombarded the Blood Demon's body. Chi. The Blood Demon condensed by Duanmu Tianlang's Blood Demon Fist began to smoke. It was quickly blasted apart by the power of lightning. It couldn't withstand Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Lightning Art's attack at all. The Blood Demon was an evil being, and the Sky Tyrant Lightning Art's lightning was the strongest power of Yang. It specialized in restraining evil beings. Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Lightning Art restrained Duanmu Tianlang's Blood Demon Fist. The dense lightning bombarded Duanmu Tianlang's body, sending him flying. Many parts of his body were blasted by the power of lightning, and blood immediately flowed out. This was a battle between cultivators. Who won and who lost didn't just depend on strength. It also depended on the various secret techniques that both sides cultivated. Of course, there was also the battle. Strength didn't mean that one could survive a life and death battle. Strong people weren't necessarily the ones who could win. Of course, if one's strength was dozens or hundreds of times greater than the opponent's, one could naturally ignore the opponent's secret technique. However, although Duanmu Tianlang was very strong, his strength was only 4 times that of Lin Feng's. It was impossible for him to achieve the level of breaking through 10,000 techniques with one. He was suppressed by Lin Feng's Sky Tyrant Lightning Art, so it was very normal for him to be injured. Little bastard, you actually injured this leader. Duanmu Tianlang roared angrily. This person was also a famous expert, but now he was actually injured by a 17 or 18-year-old youth. This was an extremely serious blow to Duanmu Tianlang's self-esteem. Duanmu Tianlong's gaze was extremely sinister. He laughed sinisterly. Brat, you have completely angered this leader. This leader will let you die in endless fear. Heh. Lin Feng's expression was cold. He wasn't afraid of this kind of life and death battle because Lin Feng knew that the more life and death battle, the more potential he could stimulate. He couldn't be compared to the cultivation resources that the successors of the top ancient sacred lands and ancient imperial dynasties received. If he wanted to quickly increase his cultivation and catch up to those people, he had to experience a life and death battle to stimulate his potential and quickly increase his cultivation. Duanmu Tianlang laughed sinisterly. The ignorant are fearless. Today, I will let you know this leader's true strength. As soon as he finished speaking, light soared into the sky from Duanmu Tianlong's dantian. Endless golden light rushed out, and within the golden light, there seemed to be an extremely terrifying existence being nurtured. Seeing the vague figure nurtured by the golden light, Lin Feng's eyelids twitched violently. He felt an extremely dangerous aura. Duanmu Tianlang wanted to use his martial spirit to deal with him. That martial spirit was definitely an extremely terrifying martial spirit. Chapter 297. Roar. An earth-shattering roar was heard. Then, in the endless golden light, a huge creature rushed out. Hiss! Seeing this creature, Lin Feng couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This was a 3-meter-tall and 5-meter-long giant golden wolf. This giant golden wolf had 3 ferocious heads. 3-headed golden wolf. This was a beast martial soul. An extremely rare beast martial soul. It was rumored that in the primordial age, there was a demon wolf that cultivated the Tao. As the years passed, that demon wolf eventually became an existence that could compete with the ancient gods. He called himself the wolf god, and the 3-headed golden wolf was said to be one of the descendants of the wolf god. In the primordial age, chaotic age, primordial age, and primordial age, there were still 3-headed golden wolf clan active. And the 3-headed golden wolf clan was extremely powerful. But in the Great Divine Demon War at the end of the primordial age, the 3-headed golden wolf clan was annihilated. The classic of Mountains and Seas also recorded the annihilation of the 3-headed golden wolf clan. Although the 3-headed golden wolf clan had disappeared in the long river of history, some cultivators could still awaken the 3-headed golden wolf martial soul when they awakened their martial soul. The 3-headed golden wolf martial soul was an extremely rare existence among beast martial souls. It was Lin Feng's first time seeing the 3-headed golden wolf martial soul. Seeing Duanmu Tianlong's overflowing confidence, it was obvious that the 3-headed golden wolf martial soul should be an extremely terrifying martial soul. Roar! The 3-headed golden wolf martial soul let out a low roar and walked towards Lin Feng step by step. At this moment, Lin Feng felt a chill down his spine. The 3-headed golden wolf martial soul must be extremely powerful. Otherwise, Lin Feng wouldn't have such a feeling. The 3-headed golden wolf approached Lin Feng step by step. Its movements were very slow, but every step it took made Lin Feng feel more and more anxious. Swoosh! Suddenly, the 3-headed golden wolf martial soul sped up and pounced towards Lin Feng like a bolt of golden lightning. So fast, Lin Feng was shocked. He quickly retreated, but the 3-headed golden wolf was too fast. It rushed in front of Lin Feng in an instant, and its sharp claws slashed at Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his hand to block the 3-headed golden wolf's attack. With a loud bang, Lin Feng was sent flying dozens of meters away by the 3-headed golden wolf's claw. His body directly broke a large tree that could only be wrapped around by a dozen people. Lin Feng's face was pale. The 3-headed golden wolf's attack was too powerful. Even with his powerful physical body, he felt like he couldn't withstand it. After the successful attack, the 3-headed golden wolf did not stop. It quickly pounced on Lin Feng. The 3-headed golden wolf opened its bloody mouth and bit at Lin Feng. Lin Feng gritted his teeth and used the Sky Tyrant Thunder technique. He used the Sky Tyrant Thunder technique to condense the power of thunder. A ball of lightning was formed, and Lin Feng threw it at the 3-headed golden wolf. Boom! The ball of lightning exploded in the void, and it looked like it was about to drown the three-headed golden wolf. Swoosh! However, the three-headed golden wolf disappeared from its spot and dodged the ball of lightning's attack. What kind of speed is this? Lin Feng's expression became extremely serious. The three-headed golden wolf's strength was far beyond his imagination. Suddenly, he felt a chill run down his spine. Almost as if it was a conditioned reflex, Lin Feng quickly moved to the left. However, even though his reaction was fast enough, he was still unable to dodge the three-headed golden wolf's attack. The three-headed golden wolf's sharp claws scratched Lin Feng's shoulder, and immediately, blood flowed out. Swoosh! Lin Feng quickly retreated. The three-headed golden wolf went berserk when it smelled the blood, and it quickly chased after Lin Feng. The three-headed golden wolf's speed was shocking, and its strength was terrifying. Its claws were even sharper than flying swords. Duanmu Tianlong's martial soul was truly terrifying. Kid, let's see how you'll die. Duanmu Tianlang laughed sinisterly, as if he could already see Lin Feng being killed by the three-headed golden wolf. Roar! The three-headed golden wolf let out a low growl and quickly caught up to Lin Feng. Its sharp claws were aimed at Lin Feng's neck. When the three-headed golden wolf attacked, it targeted the vital points. If he was not careful, he could be killed by the three-headed golden wolf on the spot. Now, the three-headed golden wolf was coming for him again. Good timing. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He activated his three devouring martial souls, and Lin Feng used the spatial magnetic field. 3 layers of space superposition. The three-headed golden wolf was immediately trapped in the spatial magnetic field. However, the three-headed golden wolf was really powerful. Even though it was trapped in the spatial magnetic field, it was still able to move. However, the three-headed golden wolf's speed was still limited, and it wasn't as fast as before. This gave Lin Feng enough time to react. Lin Feng's palm intertwined with the power of lightning. Lin Feng condensed 2 more balls of lightning and shot them at the three-headed golden wolf. This time, the three-headed golden wolf was trapped in the spatial magnetic field, and it was unable to dodge. Bang! Bang! 2 consecutive explosions rang out. The 2 balls of lightning instantly exploded. Half of the three-headed golden wolf's body was about to explode. With this attack, Lin Feng had almost destroyed Duanmu Tianlong's martial soul. Die! Lin Feng shouted in a low voice. He wanted to kill the three-headed golden wolf with a punch. However, the heavily injured three-headed golden wolf didn't continue fighting with Lin Feng. Instead, it quickly retreated and escaped. Duanmu Tianlang didn't expect that even his martial soul would be injured by Lin Feng. His expression became extremely gloomy. Duanmu Tianlang shouted coldly, "Man, soul fusion." So, the three-headed golden wolf turned into a golden light and drilled into Duanmu Tianlong's body. Ka-ka-ka-cha. Duanmu Tianlong's body suddenly underwent a drastic change. His body began to expand and golden hair began to grow. Lin Feng was dumbstruck as he looked at this scene. Looking at the golden hair that constantly drilled out of Duanmu Tianlong's body and his growing body, Lin Feng suddenly thought of a word. Beast transformation. Among the cultivators who possessed the beast martial soul, there was a very small number of people who could borrow the power of the beast martial soul to transform into a beast. This was the fusion of the martial soul and the bloodline. After completing this transformation, one would be able to transform into a beast. Once the beast transformation was completed, one's strength would increase greatly. Roar! A deep roar was heard. Duanmu Tianlang had turned into a werewolf covered in golden hair. His body was like a wolf, but also like a human. His limbs were very long, and he had extremely sharp claws. His head had become very long, very similar to a wolf's. Duanmu Tianlang had really completed his beast transformation. Duanmu Tianlang sneered, "Brat. Although I haven't reached the peak of the three-headed beast transformation, even if it's just a one-headed beast transformation, killing you will be as easy as flipping my hand." After the beast transformation, Duanmu Tianlang let out a deep roar. Duanmu Tianlang stretched out his claws and directly grabbed a 3,000-meter tall mountain. With a loud roar, he pulled up the 3,000-meter tall mountain and ruthlessly threw it at Lin Feng. Chapter 298. A loud rumbling sound came out, accompanied by the sound of the air being torn apart. If this attack landed on his body, who knows what kind of terrifying damage it would cause. Whoosh! Lin Feng quickly dodged, turning into a blur as he tried to dodge this attack. However, Duanmu Skywolf's powerful attack swept over. Lin Feng was still hit by this attack. His body was sent flying like a cannonball, slamming into a rock wall. He felt his blood and qi churn, almost spitting out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu Skywolf's attack was too powerful. Even if his body was as tough as copper skin and iron bones, Duanmu Skywolf's attack felt like all the bones in his body were about to be shattered. Duanmu Skywolf grabbed the 3,000-meter-tall mountain and smashed it over again. Lin Feng quickly moved to the left, and Duanmu Skywolf's attack smashed into the mountain behind Lin Feng. The two mountains collided and broke into two halves. Lin Feng was hit by the shattered rocks and was sent flying. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. If his body wasn't strong enough, Lin Feng's body would have been pierced through by the shattered rocks. Whoosh! A golden light flashed over. It was Duanmu Skywolf after beast transformation. Fast. It was extremely fast. In an instant, he arrived beside Lin Feng. Lin Feng could even see the pale green eyes of Duanmu Skywolf after beast transformation. They were like the eyes of a wolf, flickering with a sinister light that could make one's soul shiver. Not good. Lin Feng's face suddenly changed. He quickly retreated, but Duanmu Skywolf's speed was too fast. His sharp claws ruthlessly pierced towards Lin Feng. Pooh! Duanmu Skywolf's sharp claws pierced through Lin Feng's right chest. Blood dripped from Duanmu Skywolf's claws. Duanmu Skywolf's other claw grabbed Lin Feng's neck. His ferocious wolf head looked at Lin Feng and said eerily, "Kid, I've already told you that you will die today." Duanmu Tianlang seemed to be saying that Lin Feng would definitely die today. However, before he could finish his sentence, Duanmu Tianlang suddenly let out a miserable shriek. He screamed in pain and slapped his head with his right claw. Duanmu Tianlang felt as though his head was about to split open. Bang! Lin Feng made his move. Using the Sky Tyrant lightning art, he condensed a ball of lightning and ruthlessly bombarded Duanmu Tianlang's chest. Just as Duanmu Sirius was getting carried away, Lin Feng directly used the Soul Sword to attack Duanmu Sirius's soul origin. Caught off guard, Duanmu Tianlong's soul origin was slashed in half by Lin Feng's soul sword. Although Duanmu Tianlong's soul did not disperse, he was severely injured. Lin Feng seized the opportunity and used the Sky Tyrant lightning art to attack Duanmu Tianlang. The ball of lightning exploded and Duanmu Tianlong's chest was blasted open. Even his bones were exposed. He was severely injured. His body flew backward and landed heavily on the ground. However, Duanmu Tianlang did not seem to feel the pain. He continued to hold his head and let out a miserable shriek. Under normal circumstances, when the soul origin was injured, the pain was incomparable to physical injuries. Duanmu Tianlang had lost his ability to fight. Lin Feng rushed toward Duanmu Tianlang to take advantage of this opportunity to kill him. At this moment, a low growl was heard. Duanmu Tianlong's Sky Wolf mount pounced toward Lin Feng. It opened its bloody mouth and bit at Lin Feng. "Bastard, you're courting death." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He activated his devouring martial soul and condensed a spatial magnetic field to imprison the giant wolf. Then, Lin Feng grabbed the giant wolf's forelimbs with both hands. With a loud roar, Lin Feng tore the giant wolf's body into two halves. Blood splattered everywhere. Lin Feng threw the giant wolf's body aside and punched Duanmu Tianlong's chest hard. Crack! Duanmu Tianlong's chest was completely caved in by Lin Feng's punch. His heart exploded. Duanmu Tianlang twitched a few times and his eyes widened in anger. Then, he lost all signs of life. Lin Feng couldn't hold on any longer. He fell to the ground with his back facing the sky. He was panting violently. The tearing pain in his right chest made Lin Feng frown. If Duanmu Tianlong's attack was a little more accurate, it would have pierced through his lung. At that time, he would be dead for sure. Fortunately, he was relatively lucky. Lin Feng took out a healing elixir and consumed it. His pale face recovered a little color. The battle with Duanmu Tianlang was extremely dangerous, but fortunately, he survived in the end. Lin Feng laid on the ground and panted violently. He was slowly recovering his body. Clap, clap, clap. At this moment, the sound of clapping suddenly resounded from the forest. An old man wearing a dark green robe walked out. That old man was skinny, and his eyes flickered with a pale green light like a ghost fire. His body emitted a gloomy and terrifying aura. Devil Dao expert. Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed. Wonderful, truly wonderful. He's only 17 or 18 years old, yet he managed to kill so many strong cultivators on his own. He even managed to kill an extremely strong cultivator who could transform into a beast. Even I was astonished, said the old man in the green robe as if he was praising Lin Feng, but his voice sounded like the cry of an owl. It was hoarse and sharp. When Lin Feng heard it, he had the feeling that his hair was standing on end. Lin Feng crawled up from the ground and said, "It's all a fluke. I'm really sorry to have insulted Senior's eyes. I don't dare to disturb Senior. Junior will take his leave." The old man in green clothes gave Lin Feng an indescribable feeling. It was the same feeling Lin Feng had when he was facing Ouyang Jintian. Ouyang Jintian was a yin-yang cultivator. At that level, he could fly, dive into the sea, and turn stone into gold. There was nothing he couldn't do. This green-robed elder in front of him was probably such an existence. I forgot to tell you, I have a nominal disciple. Although he can't be considered an official disciple, he has been cultivating with me for 3 years. The green-robed elder suddenly said. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat, and he said, "May I know the name of Senior's disciple?" The green-robed elder said sinisterly, "Bai Xinian." When Lin Feng heard the ancestor of the green clothes, he pulled a long face. Without thinking, he unfolded his golden wings and turned into a golden bolt of lightning, fleeing into the distance. Bai Xintian had been killed by him, and this yin-yang realm expert was actually Bai Xuantian's master. Lin Feng naturally didn't dare to stay. Jiji Jaiji. Seeing Lin Feng flee, the green-robed elder laughed sinisterly. He pointed at the air and coldly said, "Imprison." In an instant, Lin Feng discovered that his body seemed to be bound by something. He couldn't fly anymore, and his golden wings automatically dissipated. He fell from the sky and landed heavily in the forest. Chapter 299. I'm done for. Lin Feng's face turned pale. He tried to break free, but he realized that no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. It was as if an invisible force was restricting him. Is this the strength of a yin-yang realm expert? Lin Feng smiled bitterly. The green-robed old man's methods were too strange. Lin Feng couldn't resist at all. This person was Bai Xuantian's master. If Lin Feng fell into this person's hands, he would most likely die. Russell, the green-robed old man walked over and looked coldly at Lin Feng. You really have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. No wonder Bai Xintian died at your hands. I want to know how you found out about my whereabouts. Lin Feng said gloomily. Li Mosen told me. The green-robed old man said gloomily. Li Mosen, the great elder of the law enforcement hall? Lin Feng said in surprise. What? Don't you think it's unbelievable? Li Mosen was a spy planted by a demonic force in Jinwu country. He hid himself very well, so no one knew about him. The green-robed old man pursed his lips. He seemed to think that Lin Feng would definitely die today, so he didn't hide anything. It seems that the Orc Empire's attack on Jinwu country was also caused by you demonic people, Lin Feng said angrily. The green-robed old man sneered. The demonic force is omnipresent. It's so strong that you can't even imagine it. The East Province and Godly Prefecture will belong to the demonic force sooner or later. Since I'm in your hands, I'll accept my fate. Now, do it. Lin Feng said coldly. Hee. The green-robed old man laughed sinisterly and said, Wouldn't it be a pity to kill you? I still need your body to do something very important for me. As soon as he finished speaking, the green-robed old man grabbed Lin Feng and flew into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Pop. The green-robed elder brought Lin Feng into the depths of a volcano. The magma here was boiling, and the temperature was scorching hot. Why did you bring me here? Lin Feng looked at the green-robed elder with a gloomy expression. You'll find out soon enough. The green-robed old man sneered. Both of his hands formed a series of seals and sent one seal after another into the boiling magma. A loud bang was heard. Immediately afterward, a 10-meter-tall and 5-meter-wide pitch-black cauldron rushed out of the magma and floated above the magma world. On the huge cauldron, there were drawings of devils, evil spirits, ferocious beasts, and other terrifying existences, emitting an eerie and terrifying aura. Large amounts of demonic chi poured out of the demonic tripod. Shriek. At the same time, ear-piercing screams kept coming out of the demonic tripod. The sound was too terrifying. It was like thousands of ghosts were shrieking. Lin Feng's face paled slightly as he asked, "What is this?" The green-robed elder cackled. "I'm borrowing the earth fire here. Refine a powerful demonic weapon." A demonic weapon? Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. According to legends, demonic weapons refined by demonic cultivators were even more powerful than weapons refined by righteous cultivators. Many demonic weapons had extremely strange abilities. However, refining a demonic weapon was very complicated and difficult. Because demonic weapons went against the laws of nature, it was easy to suffer a backlash when refining a demonic weapon. The more powerful a demonic weapon was, the easier it was to suffer a backlash. That's right. I'm currently refining the soul-devouring banner. In order to refine the soul-devouring banner, I've spent a lot of effort in the past 800 years. I've been searching for young cultivators with powerful bloodlines, but no background. I've slowly raised them, and when the time comes, I'll use them as blood sacrifices for the soul-devouring banner. The green-robed elder said eerily. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he said, "It seems that Bai Xintian was raised by you as a blood sacrifice for the soul-devouring banner. He's not your disciple." Jiji Jaiji. The green-robed elder laughed evilly. A nominal disciple is still a disciple. If a master needs a disciple's help, it's normal for the disciple to help. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. What kind of logic was this green-robed elder talking about? You want someone's life to be used as a blood sacrifice for your demonic weapon? How is that helping? The green-robed elder continued, I've already gathered 9,909 souls. Bai Xintian was originally the last one. He was about to reach the standard for the blood sacrifice, but he died at your hands. However, it doesn't matter. I can see that your bloodline is more than 100 times stronger than Bai Xintian's. Using you as a blood sacrifice is the best choice. As soon as he finished speaking, the green-robed elder grabbed Lin Feng and flew towards the demonic cauldron in the magma world. Open. The green-robed elder suddenly slapped the cauldron and the lid opened. Endless demonic chi poured out of it, and a sharp, ear-piercing sound rang out. It sounded like 10,000 ghosts were howling. Endless ghostly chi filled the air. 10,000 ghosts wanted to rush out of the demonic cauldron. Old turtle, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost, Lin Feng cursed. You won't even have the chance to become a ghost in my hands. The green-robed elder sneered and threw Lin Feng into the demonic cauldron. Boom. In the next moment, the cauldron lid was closed. Lin Feng's vision turned dark. The surroundings were extremely gloomy, and he felt as if he had fallen into an endless purgatory. Earthcore fire, come out, the green-robed elder shouted, and formed a seal with both hands. A ball of flame rushed out from the depths of the churning magma world and enveloped the demonic cauldron, burning fiercely. Refining. He also needed some powerful flames. Some refiners would take the risk to refine a type of flame like alchemists, but most refiners wouldn't refine the flame themselves. This was because refiners were different from alchemists. Alchemists had to have flames, otherwise they wouldn't be able to become alchemists. On the other hand, refiners could borrow flames from the outside world. All kinds of flames could be borrowed, such as the earth core fire in the depths of the magma world. Inside the demonic cauldron, Lin Feng felt the temperature begin to rise. He was getting hotter and hotter, and felt as if his body was about to melt. Damn, this grandson wants to refine me. Lin Feng's face was extremely gloomy as he punched towards the demonic cauldron. Bang! However, The spiritual inscriptions on the demonic cauldron sent Lin Feng flying. The demonic cauldron was too sturdy and couldn't be broken at all. The temperature inside the demonic cauldron rose rapidly. Lin Feng was already sweating profusely. If this continued, he would definitely be burned to ashes. The demonic cauldron turned fiery red, and the temperature was shockingly high. Lin Feng could finally see what was inside the demonic cauldron. A pitch-black demonic banner floated above the demonic cauldron. It was surrounded by demonic chi and emitted a terrifying aura. This must be the soul-devouring banner that the green-robed elder had mentioned. Screech. Suddenly, a sharp, ear-piercing cry came from the soul-devouring banner. Then, a dense group of evil spirits rushed out of the soul-devouring banner. They were extremely ferocious and all pounced towards Lin Feng. "I want to eat your flesh and drink your blood." The dense group of evil spirits drowned Lin Feng. Hearing the howls of the evil spirits from the demonic cauldron, the green-robed elder laughed eerily. "Eat, eat. Eat his flesh bit by bit, and drink his blood slowly. Under such inhumane torture, he will develop endless resentment. This resentment will merge with his primordial spirit. When he dies, his primordial spirit won't disappear. Instead, it will become an evil spirit like you." Thinking that the soul-devouring banner was about to be completed, the green-robed elder trembled with excitement.